Nangong Jun's base. Nangong Jun's base. General, are we not going to send troops? Nangong Kun smiled slightly. Of course we have to send out our troops, but not now. It's when the demon army and the Long family's army fight to the death. That will be the best time for us to send our troops. Huh? Nangong Kun continued to speak. The Long family's army has won, and the Long family's army is going to die. That way, we can completely blame it on the demon army. This will also remove the greatest danger for the prince. If demon army wins, based on the Long family's fighting strength, demon army will definitely suffer heavy losses, and at that time, we won't be able to fight back. Like this, our Nangong army will support you in time to stop the demon army from invading our Fire Glass dynasty. As for all the Long family's dead bodies, who would bring them up? The losers aren't qualified to be recorded in the annals of history. With the annihilation of the Long family's army, the last talisman of the Long family is gone. The Long family will also disappear from Fireglass City. Everything is under the control of our Nangong family. Nangong Kun had been looking forward to this day from the beginning. He had finally arrived. Nangong Kun slightly shouted, "Pass down my order. 30,000 Ngong soldiers are to quickly gather and get into formation. No one is to take a step out of Black Tiger Mountain without my order." "Yes, sir." Sleeping Dragon Valley, the Long family's military camp. Meng Yu was wounded all over, and disregarding all the obstacles, he charged into Long Lei's tent. He knelt on the ground and said in a heavy voice, "Great General, break through the encirclement. If you don't break out now, the Long family's troops will really all die. I, Meng Yu, am willing to be the vanguard." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Lei kicked Meng Yu's lower jaw. His eyes opened wide as he shouted, "Meng Yu, I have a limit to how I can endure, and you are not the one to teach me how to do it." Bam! This kick was extremely powerful and directly caused Meng Yu to spin 360 degrees, heavily smashing him to the ground. Meng Yu spat out a mouthful of blood, gnashed his teeth, and said, "Great General, demon army has not attacked for so long, so we must be gathering our power. We will definitely be able to catch them off guard if we break out of the encirclement now. I beg of you." Bam! He kicked out again, was kicked out of the tent. Long Lei walked out and shouted, "Meng Yu, if you dare commit an offense against your superiors, remove your Pioneer Camp Battalion Commander position. If you continue committing an offense, we will punish you according to the military law." Following that, Long Lei's voice was like a loud bell. It resounded throughout the entire Wulong Valley and said, "Without my order, no one is allowed to break out. Otherwise, they will be treated as deserters and will be killed." As soon as his voice faded, all the warriors in Dragon Mountain Valley felt a chill in their hearts. The Long family's fighting strength was very strong. Even if they were surrounded and placed in dire straits, their fighting strength would not decrease by even a little bit, because the Long family's soul would never be defeated, never yield. The more desperate the situation got, the stronger the Long family's combat effectiveness would be. Everyone knew that this was the best time to break out of the encirclement, but Long Lei had chosen to stay put and defend the valley. This was only secondary. More importantly, it had shaken the morale of the 20,000 soldiers of the Long family. This is the most deadly. How could this be? Are we going to wait for death in Wulong Valley? What the hell is going on? Why would General Long Lei give such an order? Demon army is resting. If we attack at this time, we will definitely kill them all and break out of the encirclement. Even the most ordinary soldiers could think of such a tactic. How could Long Lei not think of this? Big brother, even if we choose Nangong Jun, we still have to break through. However, his army and Long Feng's army had suffered heavy losses and was simply unable to contend against Long Lei. Moreover, if they were to engage in internal strife at this time, they would die even faster. The only thing they could do was urge Long Lei to break out of the encirclement. Long Feng also said, "That's right, big brother. Let's break out of the encirclement." Long Lei smiled leisurely. "You guys are still too young. We choose to break out, and even if we succeed in breaking through, our losses would still be heavy. The Long family's army can be considered our bargaining chip. If our bargaining chip is too light, how can we negotiate with Nangong-lei? At that time, we will only be looked down upon. More than 20,000 soldiers of the Long family are our bargaining chips. If we want to be recognized and get a higher rank, we must ensure that our bargaining chips are not reduced. Longlei laughed. Nangong Jun will definitely come to provide assistance, because Nangong-lei would never dream about obtaining the support of the Long family's troops. In the Fireglass City, any family will definitely want to obtain the control of the Long family's troops, so Nangong-lei will definitely send reinforcements. Long-lei firmly believed in it. However, he did not think about the consequences if Nangong Jun did not send out his troops. Long-lei and Long Feng looked at each other. They knew very well that they could no longer persuade Long-lei to turn back. Big brother, since you've made your decision, let's go back and make some preparations, Long-lei said. Long-lei looked at them, his eyes narrowed, and smiled. You two wouldn't betray me, right? The two of them felt their hearts tremble, and their faces changed slightly. Long Feng laughed. Big brother, what are you saying? We three brothers came here together, and we also want a better future. Ha ha ha! This is a smart person's choice. Long-lei laughed with relief and said, all these years I worked hard for Long Sanfeng. What did we get? Nothing. Follow the Nangong king. Gold, beauties, power, everything. Just wait and enjoy, huh? Long-lei had already fallen into madness. Having worked hard for the Long family all these years, his heart was filled with accumulated resentment, especially after Long Yun led his troops into the fierce Tiger Pass. The resentment in his heart completely exploded out. He wanted to choose his own path, a path that led to wealth and prosperity. Long Fei brought the leopard girl and quickly rushed in the direction of Dragon Mountain Valley. Along the way, he felt that something was wrong. He had never encountered a single demon beast, so it was very strange in the hundreds of thousands of Bear Mountains. When he arrived at the fierce Tiger Pass, the blood was black and the ground was littered with corpses. They're all Yinlong army, yes. So Long Fei's heart immediately sank. No wonder Xiao Wudi did not continue searching. So it turns out, this is bad. Wulong Valley. Long Fei's heart sank and immediately rushed out. It was also at this moment, within a tent in Dragon Mountain Valley. The Black Dragon Pioneer Camp has already been gathered. We have made all the necessary preparations. Long Shan said in a low voice. Long-lei asked, how is Mengyu? Table of contents, Long Shan said. Our battalion commander is fine. He has been mobilized by the Pioneer Camp. Now, the Pioneer Camp will only listen to him. All right. Long Feng took a look at Long-lei and said, the horn is for you to summon us all to break out of the encirclement. Chapter 3 was sent over. The countdown to the explosion lasted 3 days. Those brothers that didn't download it, just download it and know about it immediately. 8_8419/2356466. Long-lei was only Long-lei. Even if he was a great general, he could not represent the Long family's army. Long-lei was only Long-lei. Even if he was a great general, he could not represent the Long family's army. There were many people like Mengyu. Moreover, the Grand Preceptor had an extremely high status in the Long family's army, so not everyone would betray him. Mengyu's Pioneer Camp. The Lightning Dragon Army and the Wind Dragon Army had a total of close to 5,000 people. Facing Xiao Wudi's 60,000 demon army, breaking through would be extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult. The difference in numbers was like the difference between heaven and earth. However, they didn't have a choice. They all knew in their hearts that if they didn't break out, they would only wait for death. Waiting for Nangong Jun's support? That was a dream. Half an hour later, Wu. On the hill, a soldier blew the horn. Next, Mengyu held onto his steel spear, mounted on his horse and roared. Long family soldiers will never lose. Go out and kill for me. As soon as his voice faded, the black armored soldiers rushed out in unison, shouting in unison, charge. At the same time, on the other two sides, the Electra Dragon Army and the Wind Dragon Army attacked at the same time. All of a sudden, the sand and dust filled the sky above Dragon Mountain Valley. The fierce cries of horses and their murderous cries shook the sky. If you don't want to stay here and wait for your death, then come with me. The Long Army will never surrender. Kill. On the way out, he continued to attract more and more people to join him. The more people there were, the greater the chances of them breaking through the encirclement. Long Lei crushed the teacup and rushed out of the tent. His voice was like thunder. He roared, "Anyone who dares to leave the army camp will be sentenced to death for treason." Who dares to leave? The voice was so intimidating that the soldiers of the Thunder Dragon army became hesitant. "If you stay, you'll die. Those who want to survive, follow me." Meng Yu waved his arms and rushed towards the encampment's gate and roared, "Kill!" Clamping his legs, the war horse let out a cry and rushed out of Dragon Mountain Valley. Long Shan followed closely behind, his blood boiling. If they fought on a battlefield, men would be treated as such, so what was there to be afraid of? Kill! Nearly 6,000 people rushed out of Wulong Valley. Inside the demon army's tent, Xiao Wudi laughed coldly and said, "I knew you all would break out at this time. I had long prepared everything for you all. Fierce demon elephant legion, prepare. Surround them all. I will kill every single one of them." He said this with gritted teeth. "Give the order." Bam! 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 In the depths of the forest, a towering tree was knocked down. Hundreds of gigantic, demonic elephants charged out like thunder. The demonic elephant was clad in armor. The runic outlines of evil were engraved on the back of the demonic elephant, as the power of these runes controlled them. Several people were standing on the back of the demonic elephant, waving their whips as they commanded. At the same time, warriors of the fierce tiger tribe and the heavenly dog tribe quickly encircled them from both sides. They were determined to encircle the army that had broken out of the encirclement. "I'll clear the way." Meng Yu's legs stomped on the ground, and he flew up into the air, the fine steel dragon spear in his hands thrusting outwards. It directly pierced towards that gigantic demonic elephant. Boom! Boom! One spear slay, but it only managed to injure the demon elephant a little. The demon elephant's nose swept out, striking Meng Yu ruthlessly in the waist. The moment Meng Yu landed, he pushed himself up with his dragon spear and leaped into the air, directly attacking the 5 demon warriors on the demonic elephant's back. At the same time, Meng Yu took action. The battle was imminent. Pioneer Camp led the way. The Lightning Dragon Army and the Wind Dragon Army didn't slow down in the slightest as they swiftly rushed out. It was just that, facing the overwhelming demon army and the gigantic demon beasts, they seemed to be unable to do anything. The demonic elephant blocked the way. Its huge body was hard to move. With 2 loaves of bread, the number of people increased by several times. In a short 10 minutes, Meng Yu and the rest found it difficult to even move a single step. Sleeping Dragon Valley, Long Lei's camp. A deputy general anxiously walked in and said, "General, the demon army has already been affected by Long Lei and Long Feng. Right now, both sides have empty defenses. We can take advantage of it and break out of the encirclement easily. Give me 3,000 soldiers. I'm willing to be the vanguard." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Lei suddenly moved. A wave of dense power burst out from his right palm and struck the face of the deputy general, instantly killing him. His voice became gloomy. "Whoever dares to mention breaking through the encirclement again, he will end up in the end." Within the tent, the vice general's expressions went grim, and they didn't even dare breathe heavily. Long Lei said solemnly, "If they want to go out and throw away their lives, let them go. Only those who remain can survive. Do you understand?" All the deputy generals nodded without saying a word. They didn't know what Long Lei wanted to do, but now was the best time to do it. Furthermore, there wouldn't be too many casualties. If the Thunder Dragon army were to move, even though Long Lei and the others would definitely be able to catch Demon Army unprepared, but Long Lei actually chose to stay put. They didn't understand. They didn't dare to ask, because the anger from Long Lei's body made them feel suffocated. Black Tiger Mountain. Nangong Jun had already arrived. They were all hidden in the dense forest, and 10 kilometers in front of them, they could already hear the sounds of fighting. A scout swiftly returned to report. Long Lei and Long Feng, the two generals, have already led 6,000 of the Long family's troops to kill their way out. They're currently surrounded by the demon army. Nangong Kuan laughed complacently and said, "Seems like the Long family's army is not made of iron. Long Lei will definitely not be able to suppress the others. That's for the best. Long Lei, once Long Feng's men die, that old guy, Xiao Wudi, will definitely attack Huang Long directly and directly attack Dragon Valley. At that time, Long Lei will have no choice but to retaliate. Long Lei, you want to maintain your strength as a bargaining chip between us, right? Ha ha, you really know how to daydream." Nangong Kuan retracted his laughter and said, "Surround again." "Yes, sir. In the battlefield. It's surrounded. I can't get out. The front, back, left, and right sides are all blocked. There are simply too many demon armies here. So what if there are more people? We're the Long family's troops, the undefeated Long family's troops. Bring out the aura of our dragon family's ancestors chasing us down after the evil demon for 1,000 miles. Kill." There was no retreat, and that was the only way to unleash a stronger combat strength. In any case, it would be death. Killing one more was still one more, but killing 2 more would earn him 1 more. With Meng Yu blocking at the front, facing the oncoming gigantic devil elephant, step by step, the encirclement around him continued to shrink, and his heart fell into despair. Although he didn't say it on the surface. However, these people all knew clearly in their hearts that they would undoubtedly die today. No one could save them. No one would save them. It was a truly hopeless situation. At this moment, if Long Lei were to send troops to save her, she would definitely be able to do so. Many vice generals wanted to persuade him, but they didn't dare to do so and watched as the Long family soldiers fell one after the other. Their hearts were filled with resentment. Equals semi/floating life plus in the distance. Long Lei laughed coldly. "This is what happens when you betray me. Ha ha! Long Lei, Long Feng, this is what will happen to you too. Ha ha!" Suddenly, a draconic roar descended from the sky, followed by a furious roar from the clouds. "I, your father, am back." Chapter 1, I have been handsome for 9 lifetimes, and I am a tyrant. Guess, dream fate, the world outside the world, loach, brain-nourishing world, Dugawitch, Xiang Zai, sky demon pitiful. Min Taji, girl's mouth hard to kiss. Everything is fate, happiness and bubbles, Xiaofan, Dugahan, number 221, bookworm, Tian Xing, Xiao Exant, blood dream tears, number 126, Chao Jun, Luo Hang, I love you so much in the past. His voice was like thunder, like the voice of a war god. His voice was like thunder, like the voice of a war god. Ice and fire broke through the clouds. Floating in midair, Long Fei was furious as he watched the scene below. He bellowed out, "Someone who dares to go against the Long family's army, die!" The flames and ice fell down in a straight line, continuously spinning in the air. When there was still a few meters between him and the ground, he turned around and his throat made gurgling sounds, following which flames spouted out of his mouth. Walala, walala, walala. Wherever the flames went, there would be countless screams of agony. Everyone would flee while some would be burnt to ashes. In Long Fei's mind, ding, 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 the system beep exploded continuously. Dragon, fire dragon. It's a dragon. It's young master. It's young Master Long Fei. Young Master Long Fei is riding on a fire dragon. All of a sudden, everyone was stunned, even the demon army. They stared at the sky blankly, as if they had forgotten that they were fighting. The ice dragon turned around and shot straight into the sky. The huge mouth absorbed the water in the air and sucked it all into its body. The dragon roared and fell down again, roaring at the dense crowd of demon army. I soared like rain. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, the demon that was hit by the ice sword either died or cried out miserably. Immediately, the demon army was thrown into chaos. Amongst the crowd, Long Shan laughed wildly in excitement. It's young Master Long Fei, huh? Who dares to say that young Master Long Fei is trash? Even dragons have surrendered, huh? Too cool. This is just too cool. Riding a dragon, in the tens of thousands of years of history of Fireglass Dynasty, there's never been a single person that has ridden a giant dragon. The young master is the first person, huh? The Long family not only can slay dragons, but they can also subdue dragons. The young lord is mighty. The young lord is domineering. In an instant, Meng Yu stared at the sky. Looking at Long Fei, he felt an incomparable amount of worship in his heart. Good boy. At the same time, Meng Yu moved his dragon spear and roared like thunder. Kill, kill these dogs. Kill, kill, kill. Killing intent permeated the air, and the sound of battle shook the heavens. Xiao Wudi's face became incomparably gloomy as he stared at Long Fei, who was riding on a huge dragon in the air. The rage in his heart raged as he gnashed his teeth and shouted, Long Fei, you're not dead yet. Ah, he roared. Xiao Wudi's aura exploded, and he instantly entered the second stage of evolution, the power of the tiger on his body exploding outwards. At the same time, he decisively said, Everyone rush into the Long family's army. The huge dragon can only deal large-scale damage. As long as you rush into the Long family's army, he won't dare to spew fire. Yes, sir, Xiao Wudi ordered. In order to survive, Demon Army rushed into the Long family's army even more ferociously. This time, they were all battling. Just as Xiao Wudi had said, once the Long family army was mixed in the crowd, Long Fei could not order the giant dragon to shoot out flames, because it would harm his own people. All of a sudden, Long Fei controlled the ice and fire to attack from the side, causing the destructive force to decrease greatly. However, Long Fei continued to kill. The corners of Xiao Wudi's eyes twitched as he bellowed. Bring those captives out here. Those colossal dragons spouted fire, right? All of a sudden, a huge cage was pushed out. Under the cover of darkness, over 1,000 Life Yun Long army were imprisoned inside, including Long Yun. Xiao Wudi stared at Long Fei, who was in the sky, and laughed wildly. Long Fei, I never thought that you would actually still be alive. Pull out. Kill them all. The cage opened, and dozens of Yun Long army soldiers dragged them out and faced Long Fei. Kill. Crack. Kacha kacha. Dozens of heads of Yun Long army fell to the ground, blood spewing out from their mouths. Xiao Wudi laughed wildly in a sinister manner. Ha ha! Long Fei, you bastard, is this good? Ha ha! The Long family's army is the root of your Long family. Today, I will uproot your Long family, Continue to kill. Another group of Yun Long army soldiers with their hands and feet tied up came out. The hand raised, and the knife fell, and the head rolled down. Ah! Long Fei raged, incomparably raged. Seeing Yun Long army die one by one, the anger in his heart burst out like a volcano. Long Fei said solemnly, Xiao Wudi, I will kill you, just like I will kill your son. Xiao Wudi's eyes turned sinister, and his anger soared to the sky. Long Fei, come on, come and kill. He had gone berserk. He was completely enraged. Long Fei was extremely angry in his heart. The idea connected to the ice and fire, and asked, Is the distance far enough? No way. Huff. Long Fei exhaled and asked, Xiao Wudi, what do you want? Xiao Wudi laughed coldly and said, It's simple. I'll take your life. Long Fei rolled his eyes and said, Okay, I will give you my life. Release them. Long Fei rode on top of the ice and fire as he slowly approached. When he was a distance away, he asked, Is the distance enough? No way. Long Fei got closer. Xiao Wudi was not an idiot. In his heart, he suspected that the dragon was the evil ancestor from the Dragon Canyon. While they were talking, he grabbed onto a woman and placed her in front of him, sneering, Long Fei, you must know her, right? She's an old acquaintance of mine. That year, She was the one who brought the Long family army into demon territory and saved your father from my hands. Now, it's your turn to save her. Dragon Cloud. Long Yun looked at Long Fei, who was riding a dragon in the sky, with incomparable excitement in his heart. He was happy for Long Fei and said, Long Fei, don't worry about me. Xiao Wudi slapped down. Pa! Blood hung from the corner of Long Yun's mouth. Xiao Wudi sinisterly replied, if you hadn't led the troops back then, Long Zhanting would have already died in my hands. General Long Yun. Xiao Wudi. CK your ancestors for 18 generations. The Long family army was furious. Meng Yu, Long Lei, and Long Feng were also enraged, and all the Long family warriors who rushed out were furious. The more furious they became, the more excited Xiao Wudi became. He slapped them hard a few more times and said, Long Fei, is this great? Cluck, cluck, cluck. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. The key sound was released. His anger nearly made him lose his mind. Xiao Wudi laughed out loud and said, now, kneel down in front of me and die. Long army, everyone kneel. Long Fei was furious. He hated threats the most. He had threatened him with the Long family, and Long Yun had an extraordinary significance to him. He didn't want to see Long Yun die. Seeing that Long Fei was still getting closer and closer, Xiao Wudi directly grabbed onto Long Yun's head and bellowed, Long Fei, I'll make you die so you can kneel in front of me. He roared. It was also at this time. A sharp voice came out from the dense forest. Xiao Wudi, return my clan's lives. As soon as his voice faded, a flick was fired. The javelin carried the power of runes. Xiao Wudi's face changed. At the same time, the ice and fire suddenly took a big step forward. The idea moved and said to Long Fei, Master, the distance is enough. Chapter 2, 8_8419/2356468. Master, the distance is enough. Master, the distance is enough. A voice traveled into Long Fei's mind. Immediately, Long Fei didn't hesitate at all. In that instant, the idea moved and directly entered the fire and ice brain. At the same time, the ice and fire dragon might idea fused into Long Fei's sea of consciousness. Their minds were linked. Long Fei's gaze tightened as his eyes locked onto the leopard girl who was pouncing crazily towards the dense forest. Ding! Target locked. Crack! 10,000 points of true breath value dropped sharply as Long Fei roared. Ice and fire, 9 heavens. The first stage, prairie burning ice. Roar. Long Fei's and the ice-fire dragon's combination skill had a 5% chance of instantly killing them. As long as they were touched, all the experts below War Emperor Realm would be killed in an instant. Boom! Boom! Above the 9th heaven, on the first floor, ice and fire fused together. Like a pillar of light descending from the heavens, it directly inserted itself into Xiao Wudi's body. Crack! Xiao Wudi was nailed to the ground by the light pillar, and his body was penetrated by it. Xiao Wudi screamed out in pain. He did not know how to defend against this power at all. He did not even have the time to defend against it. The light pillar exploded on his body, causing his internal organs to ache. Xiao Wudi's body also kept changing. The third stage. Bam! His body suddenly changed. His body seemed to explode as it swelled up to become a huge black tiger. Even so, the light pillar was still staring at him. Xiao Wudi was not able to move at all. The top of his head still continued to exude bright red damage. Long Fei was greatly shocked in his heart. Is this the combined attack skill? The power of the outer world, damn it, it's too cool. It's completely like a spear from the outer world. It's pierced into his body all of a sudden. Nailed to the ground, unable to move. Long Fei was shocked. Everyone was shocked. What kind of power was this? What kind of cultivation technique was this? They had never seen it before. Everyone was staring at Xiao Wudi. Xiao Wudi's powerful body was continuously resisting and struggling, but he was still unable to move or struggle free. Can you kill him instantly? Long Fei looked at the bright red damage that kept appearing above Xiao Wudi's head, and his heart skipped a beat. What if there is no instant kill? He had to be on guard. This was because the chances of success were very low, with only 5%. No way. Long Fei's heart shook, and the idea said, "Ice and fire. Spray him again." There was a gurgling sound in the ice fire dragon's throat, but after circulating it for a few seconds, the flames were unable to come out. The ice fire said weakly, "Master, I've used up all of my energy. I need some time to rest. I'm afraid now." The fire and ice were getting lower and lower, and the sound was also incomparably weak. To Long Fei, it was equivalent to 10,000 true breaths, but to him, it was equivalent to hollowing out all of his strength. Long Fei immediately said, "You know how to ride space. Leave the rest to me." While they were talking, the idea controlled and directly withdrew the fire and ice back into its mount space. Long Fei took out the dragon sallier that had been possessed and descended from the skies, slashing down with his blade. "Xiao Wudi, your father is here." The saber chopped down. The blood-red aura extended 10 meters outwards as a blood-red light shot into the sky. At this moment, the sky returned back to normal. The whirlpool of 9 heavens disappeared, and the light pillar on Xiao Wudi's body also disappeared. A huge hole appeared in his chest, and blood spurted out crazily from it. Looking at Long Fei, who had descended from the skies, he gritted his teeth so hard that they creaked as he roared furiously. "Long Fei, I'm going to kill you." When had he ever been in such a sorry state? Even 16 years ago, he had never been in such a sorry state. He was in a bad mood. Looking at Long Fei's blade cutting down, his entire body exploded. The power of the War Elder Realm exploding out as a punch was punched out. "Young Lord, Big Brother Long Fei." "Young Lord." It was true that Xiao Wudi was heavily injured, but his cultivation was only at the War Elder Realm. Long Fei was only at the War Spirit Realm. He was not his match. The leopard girl made a grasping motion in the air, and her javelins shot out. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Xiao Wudi was too fast. She could not even lock onto the javelin. Meng Yu pushed himself off the ground with his dragon spear and leapt high into the air, thrusting straight towards Xiao Wudi. Long Yun's heart sank as he shouted, "Long Fei, run." Not a match. The difference in levels was too great. They were not on the same level at all. Moreover, in Xiao Wudi's fury, for the demons of the beast bloodline, rage meant an increase in strength, speed, and defense. His full-powered punch could instantly kill Long Fei. "It's over, young master. It's over, it's all over." Everyone in the Long family's army felt as if their hearts had fallen into a deathly stillness. In the distance, on the hill, Long Lei revealed a proud smile. "Trash is trash. Even brains are trash. I really don't know what he is thinking." "That's fine too. We didn't die in the great desolate mountain range. It's the same if we die at Xiao Wudi's hands, ha. No one can stop him, ha." Long Lei was laughing maniacally. When he saw Long Fei riding on a huge dragon out there, his heart tightened, and he was extremely unhappy. The flames of anger in his heart churned, and he even thought that his chance was going to fail. However, he never thought that Long Fei would jump down from the giant dragon's body and fight Xiao Wudi head-on. He was overjoyed. If Long Fei died, the Long family's army would completely lose their fighting strength and would be killed by the evil demons. At that time, it would be time for him to take control. "Idiot!" Long Lei laughed excitedly. "Long Fei, accompany my son." Xiao Wudi rushed into the sky. His right arm moved, dense primeval demon energy exploding out. The punch tore through the air. The wind from his fist struck at Xiang Long Fei like heavy thunder. Long Fei grinned and sneered. "You want to kill me? With just you? Not worthy at all. Xiao Wudi, go to hell to accompany your son." In that instant, the instant Long Fei felt the entire summit was filled with heavy thunder. He let out a heavy roar. Infinite shield. Buzz, buzz. There was a slight explosive sound from within his body. When the wild mountain devil unleashed his ability Infinite Shield, Long Fei's body entered into a type of strong shield. Xiao Wudi's fist came flying over. Boom! The infinite shield did not move, and Long Fei was not harmed at all. Xiao Wudi's eyes sank and said, "Impossible, absolutely impossible." While they were talking, Xiao Wudi's fists danced as they rained down on him. Every time he struck out, it was as if he was hitting the air completely without any strength. The more he fought, the more frightened he became, and the more shocked he became. How can this be? How could this be? Impossible. His attacks were completely useless. He was going crazy. He was a war elder realm, and Long Fei was just a war spirit cultivator. How could this be happening? No one could understand. What was going on? Table of contents. Everyone was dumbfounded. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up. His two eyes stared straight at Xiao Wudi and mocked. Enough. It's my turn now, right? Dragon slaying slash. Boss, go ahead. The third chapter was delivered. There were still 2 days left until the countdown. 8_8419/2356469. The bedevilment dragon Salyer slashed down with one blade. The bedevilment dragon Salyer slashed down with one blade. It cut heavily onto Xiao Wudi's shoulder. Open the skin. Ka! Asterisk, the skin was split open and the flesh was lacerated. Aren't you arrogant? You dare be so arrogant for lousy? Long Fei roared out, and the second blade instantly slashed down. Tendon break. Crack. His tendons and veins were broken. Aren't you going to kill me? Come and kill. The anger in Long Fei's heart shot out like a volcano. Break the bones. Crack. The bones split open. Long Fei roared again. My father didn't kill you back then and left you with a dog life. You don't know how to cherish it, so just obediently turn into a dead dog. Blood severing. Crack. The blood that was spurting out of Hua's head was suddenly cut down by the blade, as if it was stopping the flow of blood. Divine awakening. Soul shake. Slay. With 3 slashes, the dragon Salyer slashed down heavily. The bloodlight and sword chi continued to spurt out, and in the air, one after another strength stripes exploded as they shot out. With the last slash of the slay, Xiao Wudi was smashed to the ground. Long Fei looked down from above, and his body sank. Rumble! When he landed on the ground trembled. He moved his left fist and hit the ground with an explosive force, splitting pulse technique. It was a martial skill comprehended by the earth explosion. He punched the ground, and the ground shook violently. And at this moment, Xiao Wudi's body was bounced up, and at this moment, teleport. Shua! Long Fei's figure disappeared, and with a lift of the dragon Salyer, a layer of blade aura swept Xiao Wudi, who was in the air, away. His footsteps jolted. Whoosh! Long Fei held onto his blade with one hand and rushed into the air, roaring, to dare go against the Long family's army. This is the result. Dragon chop. Kill. The blade aura was released, flames and bloodlight interweaving as they slashed crazily on Xiao Wudi's body. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk. Under an entire 200 slashes, Xiao Wudi's body was smashed into pieces, and he was no longer able to move at all. Half of his body fell from the sky, his head rolling on the ground. Long Fei landed on the ground. The dragon Salyer swept a circle with its finger, and at the same time, it smashed Xiao Wudi's head with a heavy kick. Fuck. Who else? Rumble, rumble, rumble. Long Fei's voice was like thunder, exploding in the sky. At this moment, he was like a god. God-slaying fist. All the evil spirits retreated. Fear rose in their hearts. Fear beyond compare. Was this still a human? Long Fei was not a human at all. I want to go home. Mother, I want to go home. Some of the demons were scared to the point of wetting their pants and quickly ran into the forest. He did not want to see Long Fei again. I don't want to stay here any longer. Long Fei was definitely not human. It's the devil. The demon army fled in all directions. Long Fei's dragon Salyer shook, and she bellowed. Where is the Long family army? Here. All of the Long family's blood was set ablaze. Too excited. Long Fei's dragon chop was too overbearing. The bloody light and sword aura that erupted from the dragon Salyer, as well as the fiery light and sword aura, were almighty and domineering. They were excited, their blood boiling. All the Long family's troops looked at Xiang Longfei, and at that moment, Longfei was the god in their hearts, the existence of the dragon-winged dragon god. Longfei waved his arms, kill. Let them know the power of the Long family's troops, and let them know the death of those who violated my dragon's might. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill. The sounds of killing shook the sky. The Long family's troops were like ferocious beasts. A mere 4,000 people chasing after 50,000 people was simply too gorgeous. What kind of domineering power was this? Long Fei stood in place, looking at Xiao Wudi who had exploded under his feet. He laughed excitedly. Explode for me. Release the berserk energy. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xiao Wudi for obtaining 10 experience points, true breath points, and energy values points. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the divine tiger blood lineage. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Thunder Dragon Rod. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Thunder Dragon Temple Treasure Map 2. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Divine Tiger Body. Do you wish to fuse it? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Spirit level 9. A series of explosions occurred. Beneath the striking attribute, every single one was a good thing. He did not wait for Long Fei to see the attributes. A notification came from the system. Ding! The Divine Tiger Blood lineage is being absorbed by the Dragon Salyer. Ding! The Dragon Salyer has leveled up to become a Tiger Demon Dragon Salyer. Long Fei was shocked. Seeing the changes in the Dragon Salyer, the energy contained in its body became even stronger. When he killed Xiao Wudi, the Great Demon King released his blood lineage energy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to cause such a huge injury. This feeling, it felt so good. Just that, Long Fei said enviously. You can level up just by absorbing blood lineage. I have killed so many demons that have only leveled up. The gap between them is truly too huge. Looking at the experience that leveling up now, at the sight of that long string of zeros, Long Fei had the urge to smash into a wall. How the F***CK are they going to be promoted? Immediately. Long Fei did not care about the matter of leveling up. He rubbed his hands and thought excitedly. Let's see what kind of good items drop first. Weapon, Thunder Dragon Rod Grade. Semi-God, upgradable. Description, Thunder Dragon Temple Staff contains terrifying thunder and lightning energy. Kill evil. Description 2. Lightning speed is extremely heavy. Requires 50,000 points of the True Breath's touch effect. Description 3. Task item. Open the Thunder Dragon Temple item. The Thunder Dragon Rod looked just like the staff that Shaolin Temple's master used. However, it was completely black with 8 Thunder Dragons interweaving together, raising their heads to look at the pearl. The pearl was transparent, as if it was wrapped in a layer or something. A ball of black chi rolled around inside the small space like the soul of the seal, looking extremely strange. Long Fei said, the semi-artifact has also carry an additional trump card. But what the hell was a quest item? Could it be that this mission can allow it to level up to a holy artifact? Holy artifact and semi-artifact were two completely different concepts. Thunder Dragon Temple's treasure map too? This thing. Long Fei's mind sunk. He immediately thought about the treasure map that he had bought at the Fengyuan Merchant Union's auction. The treasure map of the Thunder Dragon Temple. Could it be that there is more than one treasure map? Or could it be that I need to gather all of the treasure maps in order to find the location of the Thunder Dragon Temple? Holy **T. What kind of existence is the Thunder Dragon Temple exactly? Long Fei's heart tensed up. He had read countless of books in the Long family's book collection vault, but was unable to find any records regarding the Thunder Dragon Temple. Could it be that he is even more mysterious than the dragon race? Forget it. I'll study it when I have time. Thank you, and I Dead heart, sunrise, phoenix, poor heavenly demon, river of sorrow, heart, Chuanfen, cowman, brother Chui has a temper, I-47, old rookie of Kong Ming, young man dreaming, fat brother is invincible, crazy book, Zhuge Luyun, shadow, light smile, Qin Chung, Dazwang, strange ka, 786, a long time gone, heart with you, leaves of the chasing wind, time fading loach, night in widow's bed, Shang City, little Exen, fan, Gucci, handsome man who kills himself, god of wine, drunk Lu. Chung, so much to thank you for supporting the sea. 8_8419/2356-470. Black Tiger Mountain, the temporary residence of the Nangong Imperial Clan. Black Tiger Mountain, the temporary residence of the Nangong Imperial Clan. General, the young master of the Long family, Long Fei, rode a huge dragon and came out from the mountains, killing the leader of the demon army, Xiao Wudi. Now that the demon army is scattered everywhere, the Long family's army has a complete victory. Nangong Kuan tightened the center of his brows and clenched both his fists tightly as he asked, Long Fei? The Long Fei of the Long family's young master? Yes, sir, the scout replied. Nangong Kuan slammed his palm on the table, causing the table to instantly shatter into pieces. He harumphed coldly. How in the world did Long Lei do it? You can't even handle a puny piece of trash, and only he wants to negotiate with me? He did not think that Long Fei could change the situation. He was completely annihilated because of Long Lei's 6,000 troops, but a sudden reversal. His heart was filled with rage. A deputy general came forward and asked, General, what do we do now? Withdraw. Nangong Kuan's eyes moved and revealed a cold smile and said, Withdraw? This is the only chance that I, Nangong Jun, have had after waiting for 10 years, and I cannot withdraw. He knew in his heart. This was the only chance to eradicate the Long family's army. And then, Nangong Kuan said, Nangong Wu, you will secretly infiltrate Dragon Valley. You must find Long Lei before Long Fei and the others return to Dragon Valley. I want to work with him from the inside. Nangong Wu trembled and said, General, will Long Lei agree to it at this time? They knew that Long Lei had already pledged allegiance to the Nangong army, so Long Lei had no choice. If he did not cooperate with us, he would die, but if he collaborated with us, there was still a chance for him to survive. Furthermore, as far as I know about him, he's looking forward to our meeting with him. Nangong Wu immediately replied, This subordinate understands. Nangong Kuan laughed. Just tell him, as long as we can kill Long Fei and the others, he will be the general of the Nangong army. He said that Prince Nangong had promised him. Yes, sir. Nangong Wu quickly retreated out of the camp. Nangong Kuan sneered. So what if I win against the evil demon? So what if he had subdued the colossal dragon? Long Fei, you're destined to die, huh? The Long family's army is doomed to perish. Ha. Everything was under Nangong Kuan's control. After today, his name would be recorded in the annals of history. At this moment, a soldier walked in and said, General, I don't know why there are some wolves in Black Tiger Mountain, but they are all demonic beast level wolves. Nangong Kuan glared and shouted, Do you need me to handle such a small matter myself? Wasn't it just a demon beast? This place is close to the great desolate mountain ranges. Isn't it normal to have demonic beasts here? Ignore it. Pass my order down. The entire army will be out in half an hour. Target Wulong Valley. Yes, sir. Wulong Valley. Long Lei paced back and forth like an ant on a hot pan. His hands were drenched in cold sweat. His forehead was also covered with sweat, and his heart was filled with incomparable anxiety. He had never thought that Long Fei would make such a huge reversal. Even Xiao Wudi from the War Elder Realm was killed. He had never expected such an outcome. A deputy general rushed in and said, General, according to your orders, the entrance to Dragon Mountain Valley is closed. Long Lei heaved a sigh of relief and said, Very good. The deputy general asked, General, shouldn't we rush out to kill the evil demons together? Why did you close the entrance? Long Lei looked at the assistant general and said, Chen Yuan, I've always been optimistic about you. The first thing I thought of when General Long Lei and General Long Feng betrayed me was to support you as the new general. Chen Yuan's eyes were filled with gratitude as he said, Thank you, great general. Long Lei asked, Chen Yuan, can I trust you? Chen Yuan immediately said, Great general, if you have anything to say, just say it. Chen Yuan, will die for sure. Long Lei said, All right, this matter is done. You are the new general. Go to the Nangong army, find Nangong Kun, and have him send troops to kill the Long family's rebel army. At this moment, a man wearing a black robe walked in and lightly said, General Long Lei, there's no need to trouble yourself. I'm already here. As they spoke, Nangong Wu took off his black robe. Long Lei's eyes flashed, and he shouted excitedly, Finally here. Chen Yuan looked at Nangong Wu, then looked at Long Lei, his body slightly swaying as he said, Great General, you colluded with Nangong Jun? As soon as he finished speaking, Nangong Wu suddenly made a move. His 5 fingers formed a claw and directly pressed on Chen Yuan's head. 5 bloody holes appeared and blood shot out. Instantly killed, Nangong Wu slightly smiled. Since you know, then you won't be able to live anymore. And then, Nangong Wu looked at Long Lei. The two of them plotted in the tent. Not long after, Long Lei's excited laughter came out. Everything will go according to General Nangong's plan. The corner of Long Lei's mouth revealed a sinister smile and muttered, Long Fei, you won't be able to escape this time. Meng Yu brought Pioneer Camp. Long Lei brought along the Lightning Dragon Army, and Long Feng brought along the Wind Dragon Army to chase after the Demon Army to kill them. With Xiao Wudi's death, the Demon Army had completely lost all ability to fight. Moreover, Long Fei's fear had solidified in their hearts, and they were incomparably afraid. Not even 20,000 Demon Army managed to escape. From today onwards, the tribes within the demon territory would never dare to have the thought of invading them again. The Long family's army was simply too terrifying. Long Fei was too terrifying. Even their evil ancestor was subdued by Long Fei. How are they going to fight against the Long family? From morning until afternoon, Meng Yu and the others only stopped after they had chased the demon army back to the deepest parts of the great desolate mountain range. Long Fei untied the rope on Long Yun's body and said respectfully, Auntie, I've made you suffer. Long Yun looked at Long Fei and smiled happily. Hearing Aunt, the hatred in her heart for all these years was completely gone. You're much stronger than your father, huh? At this moment, Long Fei pulled the leopard girl up as well and said, Call me Aunt. The leopard girl cutely said, Aunt. It was like a young wife that had just entered the sect. After she finished calling out, her face flushed red. Long Yun looked at Long Fei, and his smile became even more joyous. You're really much stronger than your father. I was the one who saved your father back then, but you saved me today. Meng Yu brought Long Shan and the others and walked up, knelt on one knee, and said with a heavy voice, Greetings, young master. As soon as his voice faded, more than 4,000 soldiers kneeled on the ground and shouted in unison, We greet the young master. Greetings, young lord. Greetings, young lord. His voice shook the heavens, resounding through the clouds. Strongest upgrade system at this moment. Long Fei was their master, the Zhizun of the Long family, the new controller of the Long family's army. Long Fei also felt his blood boiling as he roared, Return to camp. The second chapter was delivered. 8_8419/2356471. Wait. Long Lei, Long Yun, and Meng Yu all stepped forward at the same time. Long Fei was startled and asked, What's wrong? And then Long Lei pulled Long Fei aside and told him about Long Lei's collusion with him. How preposterous! Long Fei was enraged. To think my grandfather trusted him so much, he actually colluded with Nangong Lei. Reporting to young master. The main gate of the Wulong Valley has been closed. No matter how I knock on the door, it will not open." A soldier of the Long family hurried back and said. This time, Long Fei was completely enraged. "Long Lei, do you still want to turn the sky upside down? Someone come. Return to the camp. Whoever opens the gates is the Long family's rebel. The consequences for them are death." The killing intent from Long Fei's body was released. What was the Long family army? It was the foundation of the Long family. Long Fei would definitely not allow anyone to want to split him. Whoever dared to divide the Long family's army, he would be the Long family's biggest enemy. 10 minutes later, Long Fei walked up to the entrance of the Wulong Valley stronghold. At this moment, the gate of the mountain stronghold was tightly shut, and the city gate was showing a defensive posture. Crossbowmen, catapulting machines, all of them were on high alert and were much stronger than when they were dealing with the demon army. Obviously, Long Lei wanted a rebel. There were more than 10,000 Long family troops inside. Not to mention whether or not they could win, they were all elites of the Long family army. Once they started a war, the Long family army would kill each other. Long Fei did not want to see this kind of situation. The Long family's army was heavily injured, and the news would quickly spread to the imperial capital. At that time, the Long family would be in an even more dangerous situation. However, the current Long Fei did not know that Nangong Lei and the Nangong imperial family had already known about the demon army's invasion of the WRM Valley. Fireglass City's Long family was in danger from all sides. Long Fei suppressed the anger in his heart and said faintly, "Open the door." On top of the city gate tower, a man who looked like a deputy general said, "General has ordered, in order to prevent the demon army from counterattacking, we will not open the city gates today. Young Master Long Fei, you should rest outside. When we are certain that the demon army will not counterattack, we will open the gate for you." Fuck you. No matter how kind he was, he couldn't help but erupt into flames. Furthermore, Long Fei's temper had always been very explosive. He scolded angrily. "Your mother, you still know this daddy is the young master? Open the door for lousy." The true breath poured in and surged. That deputy general said, "Young chieftain, life is difficult. Without the general's order, we do not dare to open the door. Young chieftain, please forgive us. I forgive your 18 generations of ancestors." Long Fei scolded angrily once again and shouted, "Call Long Lei out for me." Just as Long Fei finished his sentence, the city gates opened. Ha ha ha! Long Lei led a fist full of elite soldiers to welcome them. A smile hung on Long Lei's face as he said, "Welcome, young master. Today the young master has displayed his divine might, killing all of demon army to show off the might of our Long family's army." At this moment, Long Lei took a step forward and said softly, "Young master, those around Long Lei are his trusted aides, and they are all at the war chief realm." Long Fei nodded his head. He walked to Long Lei's side and laughed. And then suddenly, Long Fei's leg kicked out, hitting his leg. He kicked deeply into Long Lei's crotch. Crack! The sound was like an egg falling to the ground and breaking into pieces. Long Lei's legs were clenched tightly as his body curled up. His face was flushed red, and he was in so much pain that he couldn't even breathe. His two eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, and his eyes were bloodshot. He did not expect Long Fei to suddenly attack. He was completely unprepared. One of his trusted aides suddenly rushed forward, but was stopped by Long Lei's hand. He stared at Long Fei with two eyes and said, "I wonder why young master wants to make a move against me." Long Fei laughed coldly, raised his hand, and moved his foot a little. It was also at this time, Long Lei's expression tensed and immediately revealed a defensive posture. However, Long Fei stretched out his hand and started to dig his nose. Long Lei retracted his nervous expression and heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. The moment he heaved a sigh of relief, Long Fei kicked him again. Crack! The other egg was also shattered. Long Lei was in so much pain that he directly knelt to the ground, his face turning red and white. Who would have thought that Long Fei would be such a rascal? He thought Long Fei was going to attack, But he didn't. He thought that if Long Fei did not take action, Long Fei would take action instead. Long Fei. Long Lei's head was about to burst into flames. The battle chi on his body was released unrestrainedly. Two gloomy eyes stared straight at Long Fei, as though he wanted to eat him up. Long Fei glared at him. Long Lei, you still know that I'm the young master. Why didn't you kneel down when you knew I'm the young master? Shameless trash. Long Fei's voice was like thunder. He stared at the elite warriors behind Long Lei who were eyeing him covetously, and said coldly, I did not hear what you said clearly, did I? While they were talking, with a move of his right hand, he summoned out his dragon salure and placed it on his shoulder. Long Fei suddenly bellowed, Is your father's words useless? Kneel! Powerful and domineering. Long Fei's tyranny caused Long Lei to be caught off guard. Who would have thought that Long Fei would beat them down the moment he appeared? Long Lei clenched his teeth tightly as he crawled up from the ground. His voice also became gloomy as he said in disdain, Long Fei, it is not up to you to decide whether or not you are the young master. You are the young master of the Long family in the Fireglass City. Humph! If you do not complete the quest's highest difficulty, you are not qualified to make us kneel. Long Lei's eyes were filled with disdain. If you want us to kneel down and worship you, then you have to take out some strength. Today is the last day of the mission. If you do not kill any demon beasts, even if you fail the mission, you do not have the qualifications to make us kneel down. And even more so, have no qualifications to take over the Long family's army. Do you understand? When Long Lei spoke, his two angry eyes were as ferocious as a demon beast's. I don't think you can finish it either. It's better if you don't disgrace yourself and just go back to where you came from. Long Lei sneered. The pain in his thigh was still intense. He kept holding back. Long Yin walked forward and said, Long Lei, the fighting strength Long Fei displayed just now is enough to make the Long family's troops submit. He is our young master, the one in charge of the Long family's army. As soon as Long Yin finished speaking, Young Lord, Young Lord, Young Lord, over 4,000 Long family warriors shouted in unison, their voices shaking the sky. Long Lei gave a disdainful sneer and said, Long Yun, a mission is a mission. If you could display a little bit of fighting strength, then you are nothing but a cat or dog. You, Long Lei, don't be too presumptuous. To dare insult the Long family's young master like this. Long Lei, what are you trying to do? Strongest upgrade system. At the same time, Long Lei and Long Feng stepped forward and shouted. What for? Long Lei laughed coldly, stared at Long Fei, and said, Have you completed your mission? If you're not finished, then scram for lousy. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister and became cold. Long Lei, you are asking for a beating. The third chapter, Berserk Countdown, one day had passed. The day after that had passed. If everyone had a monthly ticket, they would vote for it. 8_8419/2356472. Humph, humph. Long Lei coldly snorted and said, My face deserves a slap? Long Fei, if you don't take out enough monster head today, your face will be smashed. Long Fei slowly retreated a few steps, then laughed. Very good. Then let's see whose face will be smashed. At this moment, Long Yin grabbed Long Fei and said, Young master, you don't need to do this. Long Lei also said, You have already proven yourself, and the mission assessment only allows you to prove yourself. Now that you have proven yourself, there is no need to take out any monster head. Long Feng followed. That's right. Long Lei will not admit it. We can just admit it. 3-rate monster and beast S were easy to obtain, but 5-level monster S were not that difficult. It was impossible to kill so many demon beasts in a short month. This was the most difficult mission, and so far, no one had ever completed it. They were worried about Long Fei. If he could not take out those monster head S, Long Lei would make use of this opportunity to stir up a ruckus, refusing to acknowledge Long Fei's identity. Furthermore, Long Fei was not allowed to take even half a step into Dragon Valley. Long Lei looked at the three of them and laughed coldly, saying, What's the use of you admitting it? I want the Long family's army to admit that they are not qualified to make us kneel down before them, much less take charge of their troops. Long Fei, I think you better not embarrass yourself and scram back to Fireglass City. Long Lei revealed a smirk on his face. Right now, he dared to deduce that Long Fei did not have enough monster head us out, especially that 5-level monster's head, which was even more so. As Long Fei did not take it out, he had an excuse not to admit it, and also, the next thing would be much easier. Actually, just as Long Yun and the others had said, Long Fei did not need to do this. However, Long Fei had his own thoughts. He did not need Long Lei's proof to prove anything. Instead, he was thinking about the proof from the Long family's army in Dragon Valley. What the Long army believed in was power. If he used his strongest power, it would frighten them. In addition to taming a huge dragon and killing Xiao Wudi, all of these would cause a deterrent force. This way, they wouldn't have to kill any of the Long family's army to hold Long Lei in the air. The moment Long Lei appeared, Long Fei could make his move, but the moment he did, it was a civil war between the Long family's army and the Long family. The losers would all be the Long family. The Long family was already in a precarious situation. If the Long family army was in a state of unrest again, then the Long family would be in an even more dangerous situation. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "I'm fine. If he wants to see, then let him have a good look." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's voice was as loud as a bell. He said, "All of you, watch this carefully." The sound reverberated in the air above Dragon Mountain Valley. All the soldiers of the Long family within the valley were paying attention, and the city walls were filled with people. Long Lei laughed coldly. "Stop wasting time. Hurry up and start." Long Fei looked at Long Lei. "Open your dog eyes wide and see clearly." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, the 3-rate monster and beast head flew out from the space ring, and in less than a minute, 100 of them were placed in front of Long Lei. Long Lei laughed coldly. "Is that all? This kind of low-level demon beast can be killed, even if it's trash." Long Lei, don't be too arrogant." Long Shan shouted out. Long Lei didn't even look at him and sneered. "Who do you think you are? You don't even have the qualifications to talk to me." In that instant, Long Fei once again took out the 10 heads of 4-rating monster and beasts. Another pile. The hearts of many of the Long family soldiers shook. Level 3. The 4-rating monster and beast's head has been completed. Now, only the 5-level monster's head is left. Will it be completed? This is the most difficult mission. Back then, even the genius Long Zhanting did not complete it. Could his son do it? So excited. Haha. The most difficult mission. Long Fei being able to do such a thing is already proof of himself. That's right. This young lord is strong enough. I don't think there are any 5-level monster, so it's impossible for me to take them out. The Long family army behind Long Fei discussed softly. The Long army on the city wall was also discussing, as were the Long army in the valley. Everyone's heart tensed up. They were all waiting for the answer. Could Long Fei take out the 5-level monster's head? Long Lei's heart was also secretly nervous as he looked at Long Fei, who stopped with a sneer. "Why did you stop? Continue. There's still one more 5-level monster." What can killing these monsters prove? To prove that your mission was a failure, get the hell back to Fireglass City? Meng Yu could not take it anymore, and shouted, "Long Lei, if it was you, would you be able to kill these low-level beasts? Don't just stand there and talk, you can still look back." Long Lei laughed. "You dog, you found a new master so quickly?" Meng Yu frowned. At this moment, Long Fei exhaled and said solemnly, "Look carefully." He stretched out his right hand and used his right arm's strength to boom. A giant head came out from the space ring and placed in front of Long Lei. Just right. Wild Mountain Devil's 2 eyes that were full of grievance as they stared unwaveringly at Long Lei. That kind of powerful deterrent force caused Long Lei to stagger backwards. He lost his balance and fell to the ground. Wild Mountain Devil, 7-rating monster and beasts. Oh my god, Wild Mountain Devil is a horde leader level demon beast. No matter how many times we surrounded and killed him, we suffered huge losses. However, We were killed by young Master Long Fei. Too fierce. Young lord, young lord, young lord. He completed the most difficult task. This is too amazing. This is the Long family's young master. Young master, young master. Next, outside the valley, within the valley, on top of the city walls, more and more voices started to ring out. Young lord, young lord, young lord. Young lord, young lord, young lord. Long Fei took a step forward, stood in front of Long Lei, and said condescendingly, Long Lei, continue to act arrogantly in front of this father. Call again. While they were talking, Long Lei was stunned. Looking at Wild Mountain Devil's two lantern-like eyes, he was actually unable to react for a moment. His face was pale, as if he had been ruthlessly slapped in dozens of places. He slowly got up from the ground. At this moment, Long Fei roared fiercely, kneel down. The Long family army behind him was completely set ablaze. Too excited, too excited. Conquering the huge dragon and killing Xiao Wudi. Now that even the 7-rating monster and beast had been killed by Long Fei, this kind of shock formed a monstrous wave that rolled and rolled in everyone's heart. Equals half carrot float, hashtag life, carrot his blood was boiling. Meng Yu took a step forward, and she roared, Kneel! Long Shan, Long Lei, Long Yun, Long Feng, and a few other disciples of the Long family all stepped forward and shouted at Long Lei, Kneel! The 4,000 Long clan soldiers behind him also loudly shouted, Kneel! 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 The first chapter thanks all the brothers for their rewards. 8_8419/2356473. Long Lei's face was as white as paper, staring at Long Fei with extreme unwillingness in his heart. Long Lei's face was as white as paper, staring at Long Fei with extreme unwillingness in his heart. It was also at this time, people continued to kneel down on the city walls. Within Dragon Mountain Valley, countless soldiers of the Long family kneeled down, because they were shocked, because they admired Long Fei, and because they acknowledged him as well, but they were completely subdued by him. It was also because Long Fei had completed the most difficult mission, the first in history. Long Lei was unwilling. Long Fei took a step forward and coldly looked at Long Lei and said, Still not kneeling? His aura began to emanate from his body. Long Lei frowned. His fists were clenched tightly. His anger was ignited like a flame. In that instant, Long Fei was suddenly furious. He slapped him hard. I told you to kneel down. Pa! The crisp slap caused the surrounding sounds to instantly quiet down. The third time. The first 2 times, it was because Long Lei was caught off guard and did not expect Long Fei to make a move, but this time, it was because Long Lei was stunned. They were shaken by the head of the Wild Mountain Devil and the aura of someone in a superior position that was being emitted from Long Fei's body. His heart was incomparably shocked. A slap to the face. It was fiery hot and incomparably painful. This slap also caused him to kneel on the ground with a bang, the anger in his heart boiling. However, he was very ruthless in his heart. Long Fei, you dog, I will let you be arrogant for a while. You will soon kneel in front of me and beg for forgiveness. Long Lei knelt down. The 10 or so elite warriors behind him also knelt down in unison, unwilling to give up. The soldiers of the Long family on the city wall and the ones from the Wulong Valley all knelt down together. His voice shook the heavens as he shouted in unison, We pay our respects to the young lord. Greetings, young lord. Greetings, young lord. The sound echoed through the clouds. Meng Yu, Long Shan, Long Yun, and the others were all extremely excited. Clenching their fists tightly, they were secretly excited. So cool. Ha ha ha. Young Master Long Fei is really too handsome. A young master that the Long family's troops had never so much respect. Never. In the hearts of every single one of them, Long Fei was the supreme expert of the Long family. The Long family's hope. Long Fei looked down at the world from the bottom of his heart. He looked at the kneeling Long family's troops and suddenly shouted, All of you, stand up. Swish, 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 swish. Long Lei and the others stood up. Long Fei said, "Open the city gate. We want to enter the valley." Long Lei raised his hand to signal that he could not open the city gate, smiled slightly, and said, "Young master, the valley is currently in a mess. It is not able to accommodate so many people, and although the demon army is forced back, but the evil demons are born cunning. Maybe they will retaliate. I need the Long family's army to guard the two sides of the valley." Long Lei shouted, "Long Lei, are you blind? We have killed all of the demon army, yes, without leaving a single one of them alive. They have no ability to resist or even fight back, so there's no need to guard the two sides of the valley." Long Feng also followed. "Long Lei, what exactly do you mean?" Long Lei's eyes narrowed as he smiled faintly and said, "I am the great general. I have the right to order the two sides of the valley to guard against the demon army's attacks." Long Yin said, "Great senior fellow apprentice, you still have a chance to go back." Meng Yu was an impatient one and said straightforwardly, "You're just a fart general. You don't have the qualifications to order us." Long Lei completely ignored them and looked at Long Fei with an ice-cold gaze. Long Fei asked, "What do you want?" Long Lei laughed. "You are the young master. Your identity is precious, and naturally you are different from them. You can enter the valley to rest, but there is one thing you can only bring in one person, and the rest of the Long family can only guard outside the valley." What happened just now was just a stall for time. Long Lei was waiting for Nan Gongjun. It should be about now. Moreover, everything that Nan Gongwu had prepared at Dragon reaches. Long Lei looked at Long Fei with interest and said, "If you don't dare to enter the valley, then rest outside." Intimidation? Long Yin grabbed Long Fei and shook his head. "Long Fei, don't go." "Young lord, you can't go." "I can't go." They were well aware of Long Lei's betrayal, but they didn't have any evidence. Even if they told others about it, the Long family army in Dragon Mountain Valley might not believe it. Moreover, they knew what Long Fei wanted to do. Long Lei laughed disdainfully. "You don't dare? What about the Long family's young master? In my opinion, he's just a coward. How could he be fit to be the Long family's young master with such guts?" "Ha ha! As timid as a mouse." He was still angering Long Fei. How could Long Fei not know how to goad him? Long Fei gently released Long Yun's hand and smiled. "I'll go. I'm the young master of the Long family. Is there anything that I don't dare to go to?" "Young lord." Long Fei. Everyone stepped forward together. It was clear that there was a trap inside, and if they went in, it would be a trap of death for them. Long Lei would definitely not let Long Fei live. How could Long Fei not know? However, in order to minimize the casualties in the Long family army, for the sake of the Long family, for the sake of grandfather and uncle, Long Fei had no other choice. Long Lei laughed, his heart laughing with incomparable arrogance and complacency, and thought to himself, "Brat, it's time for your death." Long Fei looked at Long Lei and said, "I'm going by myself. I have something to say to them before I go." Long Lei said, "Young master, I will be waiting for you inside." Long Lei laughed complacently, and then walked through the side door into Sleeping Dragon Valley. "Don't worry about me. After I enter, Nangong Jun will definitely come to attack you all. You all do not need to worry. Someone will help you all." At that time, Long Fei's gaze tensed up as he said in a low voice, "When the Nangong army is defeated, catch up to them with all your strength. You must completely annihilate the Nangong army." "Huh? What? Young master, who will help us? Is Nangong Jun already here? What's going on?" None of them understood what Long Fei was planning. Long Fei looked at the leopard girl and said, "If you listen to her orders, she will know who is going to help us. Remember my words. If you want to annihilate the entire Nangong army, don't leave a single one of them alive. This is extremely important, understand?" I understand." Her head was full of fog, and she completely didn't understand what Long Fei was doing. At a time like this, who would still come and help them? However, since Long Fei had said it like that, they were prepared in their hearts. Furthermore, Meng Yu had quickly passed down an order down, allowing everyone to gather their energy and prepare for battle. After he finished saying all these, Long Fei calmly walked into Dragon Valley. Can the young lord really do it alone? I have a bad feeling about this. I'm really unhappy that I can't help the young lord. If Long Lei dares to go against the young master, I will kill him even at the risk of my life." On the city wall, Long Lei smiled. Seeing Long Fei walking by himself, he couldn't help but feel pleased with himself. Long Fei, walk towards death, huh? Long Fei walked to the city gate and slightly lifted his eyes. Looking at the proud and cold Long Lei who was hanging on the wall, he shouted, "Open the gate." The city gates opened. Long Fei walked in, and with a smirk he said, "Long Lei, who knows which one will end up dying?" Chapter 2, 8_8419/2356474. Beneath the city walls, Long Fei had consumed the last of the true pill. Beneath the city walls, Long Fei had consumed the last of the true pill. Ezichin looked at the true breath value. The confidence in his heart increased. After entering Dragon Valley, he saw 2 rows of black armored warriors wearing black armored masks and holding on to black dragon spears. Killing intent. The moment he entered Wulong Valley, Long Fei felt a strong killing intent. Other than the black armored warriors, there were no other Long family army warriors around. All of them had been moved far away. The black armored warriors were personally trained by him as elites, so they were absolutely loyal to him. Each of the 100 black armored warriors was a war chief realm. Killing a Long Fei who was only in the war spirit realm was easy. Moreover, amongst these black armored warriors, there were still people hiding with Nangong Wu, so they came prepared. Long Fei strode forward. Long Lei and a black-robed man stood in front of the general's tent with a smile on their faces as they watched Long Fei walk towards them step by step towards death. Long Lei laughed complacently. "Long Fei, you really dare to come." Long Fei laughed. "The Long family army belongs to my Long family. As the young master of the Long family, why would I not dare to come here?" "Ha ha!" Long Lei threw his head back and laughed loudly. "Do you see a member of your Long family here?" Long Fei swept his gaze across them and said, "Long Lei, what do you mean by this?" Looking at Long Fei's shocked expression, Long Lei could not help but smile and say, "The meaning is simple. Today is the day you die. Not just you. The Long army outside the valley will also die. From today onwards, there won't be any more Long army in this world." Ha ha ha! After he finished speaking, Long Lei started laughing loudly again. Long Fei pretended not to understand and said, "Long Lei, you betrayed the Long family?" As he spoke, Long Fei used the true breath to spread his voice out to every corner of the floating Dragon Valley. The isolated Long family soldiers' faces darkened. They all whispered. Long Lei never thought that Long Fei would do such a thing, and laughed loudly. "Traitor of the Long family? Ha ha! Long Fei, you wouldn't only know about it now, right? Your Long family is about to be annihilated. What is there for me to stay for? Only by following King Nangong can you have a future. Long Fei, a good bird chooses a tree. Don't you understand that?" His voice was also magnified by Long Fei using true breath and spread to every corner of the WIRM Valley. The isolated Long family army was in an uproar. Long Fei continued, "What has the Long family done to let you down? Since the founding of the Long family's ancestor, there has never been a person who rebelled. Long Lei, when you turn back now, I will see that nothing has happened to me." "Ha ha!" Long Lei laughed out loud. "Then I'll be the first one. Long Fei, you're about to die, and you want to persuade me to turn back? You're really pitiful, extremely pitiful." Long Lei said in disdain. The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back and said, "I'm going to die?" Long Lei laughed. "If it wasn't for you dying, then who would have died?" "Oh, right, those Long army outside the city will also die." While they were talking, Long Lei looked at the sky and said, "It's about time." Black Robe Man nodded. "We should be there soon." At this moment, shouts and screams came from outside the valley. "Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha!" Long Lei laughed proudly. He stared at Long Fei excitedly. "Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Your people are crying and screaming. Ha ha!" General Nangong has already arrived. He will kill all 4,000 of the Long family's troops. Huh? Long Fei, are you telling me that it's not good for a useless person like you to obediently bring the Fireglass City along? Why did you come to Dragon Reaches? You think you alone can fight me? Ha ha ha! Long Lei was incomparably excited and pleased with himself, as he thought that everything was set in stone. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up. When Long Lei smiled, he also laughed. Moreover, his smile was extremely sinister. Long Lei was startled and said, Long Fei, you can still laugh? Just now I knelt down in front of you, but now, kneel before your father. Long Lei's voice sank. The power of the war chief realm burst forth. Forming a strong pressure, he roared again, Kneel! Long Fei's body faintly moved. A strong pressure crushed the sea of consciousness, and the mind felt as if something weighing tens of thousands of kilograms was pressing down on the body. It was incomparably uncomfortable. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he laughed coldly. Long Lei, your death is imminent, and you still don't know? Go out and take a look, and see who it is that is crying and shouting, whose people are shrieking, whose people are being massacred, huh? Fight with me. Long Lei, you don't have the qualifications to fight me. Long Lei looked shocked as he sneered. Do you think I'm trying to scare the big one? Nangong Wu's face changed slightly. It was also at this time. A soldier on the city gate shouted loudly, Great General, Nangong Jun has been surrounded and killed by a pack of flaming wolves. Long Lei and General Long Feng are leading over 4,000 Long family troops to surround and kill Nangong Jun. What should we do? As soon as his voice faded, Long Lei staggered backwards, unable to stand steadily. Nangong Wu's face changed greatly. His eyes stared straight at Long Fei. Kid, what did you do? Long Fei said coldly. Nangong Jun has attempted to ambush my Long family's army. Kill them all. What? Long Fei, I think you are tired of living. Immediately order your men to leave, if not. Nangong Lei was furious. The 30,000 people that he had brought with him this time was an elite among elites. They were Nangong Lei's trump card. If they were all annihilated, it was hard for Nangong Lei to stand firmly in the Fireglass City. Ha ha ha! Long Fei laughed arrogantly. Weren't you being very arrogant just now? Aren't you smiling very happily and feeling very proud of yourself? Come, come, come. Smile one more time for this old man. Long Lei, didn't you want me to kneel for you? Now, who's going to kneel down to who? Who's going to F** King die? Long Fei's anger surged and immediately came out with a curse. The anger in his heart also burst out in an instant. Long Lei's eyes turned sinister. He gritted his teeth and roared, Long Fei, so what if Nangong Jun is defeated? You are still in my hands, and you will die just the same. After you die, I will send out troops in the name of exterminating those demon beasts. At that time, I will kill all of those Long family's rebel soldiers. Now you will lose. Nangong Wu roared out, Don't waste words with him. Kill him. I lost. Long Fei sneered. Look at the surrounding Long family's army. Look who lost. It was unknown when, but the surrounding area was filled with the isolated Long family troops. All of their eyes were filled with anger as they stared straight at Long Lei. Long Lei's expression panicked and shouted, What are you doing? Do you want to rebel? The Long family's army was slightly startled. Long Lei's deterrence level was extremely high. Long Fei's heart sank, and he immediately shouted, The one who rebelled. Long Lei, you're dead today. Long Fei, let's see who will die today. Long Lei clenched his fists and roared, Dragon-locked tactical method, kill. It was the work of the Long family's ancestors. Even dragons were trapped, and for tens of thousands of years, no one had been able to break through it. The strongest formation, Dragon-locked tactical method. Long Fei was on the verge of death. The third chapter was delivered, Berserk tomorrow night. 8_8419/2356-475. At this moment, outside the valley, Xiaobai took the lead and rushed into the Nangong army. to kill crazily. A second-rank divine beast wasn't just for show. The power was boundless. Those Nangong soldiers did not have any defense in their hearts. How could they have known that a group of ferocious beasts would suddenly charge out? Furthermore, every one of them was a three-rate monster and beast, and there were even many of them, which could completely withstand the attacks of demon beasts. While they were frantically retreating, the leopard girl waved her arms and shouted, "Kill!" Mengyu mounted his horse. The steel dragon spear in his hand slashed the ground. Flames scattered everywhere. As though he was an invincible vanguard, he rushed forward. With a move of the spear, he shot out the head of an assistant general from the Nangong army. Kill! 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 This was a massacre. Nangong Jun's fighting strength was basically zero. The attacks from the demon beasts and the fierceness of the Long family army completely crushed the 30,000 Nangong imperial soldiers. He had already left Xiao Bai's house on ice and fire, asking him to summon his girlfriend from the desolate mountain. This time, the level 2 divine beast summoned all of the wolves in the great desolate mountain range, wanting to encircle and kill the demon army. But when Long Fei received Xiao Bai's sound transmission, he immediately made them hide, using them to deal with Nangong Jun. The sounds of battle shook the skies outside. The valley was filled with killing intent as well. The deterrence of General Long Lei intimidated the Long family troops. Long Fei was secretly anxious. With Long Lei's order, the 100 black armored warriors surrounded Long Fei in the middle. Dragon-locked tactical method. The elite group of 100 War Chief Realm was created by the Long family's ancestor to trap the gigantic dragon. Long Fei was trapped in the middle and tried to break through, but every time he was forced back, the secrets of the array was too profound. Long Fei had not studied the array yet and did not know a thing. To break through the formation, one had to find the core of the formation. The moment the formation aperture was broken, the formation broke apart. Long Lei laughed sinisterly. Long Fei, you colluded with the evil demon to kill the Long family army. Today, I will execute you on the spot. Long Fei's gaze continued to observe these black armored warriors, and he sneered. Long Lei, I, your father, am colluding with your mother. You're courting death. Long Lei was so angry smoke rose from the top of his head. He roared and said, "Change the array, kill." Huh. The black armored warrior started to turn. Originally, he was just trapped, but in that moment, the array formation suddenly released a boundless killing intent, charging towards Long Fei. The War Chief Realm had crushed Long Fei to begin with. 100 experienced War Chief Realm experts would be even more powerful, not to mention the dragon-locked tactical method created by the Long family ancestor, which was even more unstoppable. Long Fei's dragon salure could not even resist it. Teleportation could not penetrate the defense and could not break out. The power of the mountain-hit fist could not be unleashed at all. Even opening Wushuang was useless. Everything was locked up by the gigantic dragon-locked tactical method. What should we do? What should we do? Long Fei's mind kept working. Swish! Swish! S body staggered. If not for the dragon armor and the defense of the King Kong shield, Long Fei's entire body would have been riddled with holes. Ha! Long Fei, how does the dragon-locked tactical method feel? This is a formation that your ancestors set up that even giant dragons could trap. Furthermore, the formation has been in use for so long that no one has been able to break it. Ha! Isn't it fun for your master to use the array formation to kill the Long family? Ha! Seeing Long Fei being beaten up to the point that he couldn't even breathe, Long Lei excitedly laughed out loud. No one knew the secrets of the dragon-locked tactical method. No one in the Long family knew where the core of the formation was, except from the founder of the Long family. If he couldn't find the core of the formation, he wouldn't be able to break it. This was the Long family's killing move. This was also the grave that Long Lei had dug for Long Fei. Nangong Wu could not help but start to sneer. General Long Lei, you're the smart one. Using the Long family's formation to kill the Long family's people. Haha, this move is really vicious. I like it. But we have to hurry. Nangong Wu was worried that his big brother would not be able to hold on. Longley laughed. Don't worry. Look at him. He's like a dog in a cage. He'll be killed very soon. The surrounding Long family army stepped forward. Longley's voice was suddenly heard for a while. You all better wait obediently at the side. If not, don't blame me for being impolite. Swish! Swish! 2 more spears pierced through Long Fei's arms, causing blood to gush out. Long Fei still could not find the crux of the array, and was still unable to break through it. His cultivation technique, strength, and true breath seemed to be locked in place. The power of the Dragon Lock tactical method was simply too great. Longley laughed complacently. I've spent a whole 10 years cultivating these black armored warriors, making them eat and sleep together, training their tacit understanding to the peak. One of them moving, the other 99 people moving in an instant. Although I have not released the greatest amount of power from the Dragon Lock tactical method, it is enough to kill you, this kind of trash, haha. Long Fei, is this great? Longley laughed madly. You want me to kneel down and act arrogantly in front of me? This is great, huh? Long Fei resisted with all his might. Given how ignorant he was of formations, he really couldn't think of any solutions. Furthermore, everything about him had been sealed. This was a huge headache for him. Even Dragon Salyer would not be able to bring it out. This feeling was too unbearable. No formation aperture. No formation aperture. This is not. It's not there. No. No. Long Fei's brain was still working hard. Why does this array have no eyes? Impossible. A formation without an array core doesn't work at all. Long Fei looked at his feet. Suddenly, Long Fei's forehead shook. Fuck. Myself. I am the core of this formation. How brilliant. Too brilliant. Ancestor was truly too clever. He used the trapped enemies as the eye of the formation. Even if he were to die, he would not be able to find the core of the formation. Long Fei's heart was boiling, and at this moment, Long Fei suddenly moved, his eyes firmly locking on a Long Lei. He roared, Wu Shuang, open. Wang. The attributes in his body were released twice over. Next, Long Fei took out a black staff from the Space Ring S, Thunder Dragon Rod. The might of the holy artifact was released. The idea sank. The Thunder Dragon Rod in Long Fei's right hand shook and directly stabbed in the ground, activating True Breath. The enormous True Breath rushed into the Thunder Dragon Rod. Next, Baidu Search. Half afloat, the 8 lightning dragons on Long Lei's staff roared, and all of them charged out, transforming into incredibly thick bolts of lightning. With Long Fei as the center, they began to wreak havoc everywhere. Death. Death. Or was it death? Chapter 1. Subscription. 8_8419/2356476. 8 lightning dragons were unstoppable. 8 lightning dragons were unstoppable. Anger, madness, annihilation. The 100 black armored warriors were blasted to smithereens by the thunderous force. Ding, 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 ding. S mind continuously rang with the names of 100 notifications. It was extremely pleasing. This is only the semi-artifact. What if it becomes a holy artifact? No, I have to find time to use Thunder Dragon Rod S to level up. Mass killing techniques are too important to me. His experience points had risen by a great deal. Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. He did not expect that the Thunder Dragon Rod would actually be able to unleash such a large-scale destructive power. The 8 dragons enraged, spreading to all corners of the land. This scene was too King gorgeous. Long Fei couldn't help but feel his blood boiling. Looking at the dumbstruck Long Lei and Nangong Wu who were in the distance and unable to say a single word, Long Fei laughed coldly, smiling. Keep laughing. Smile for lousy again. Long Lei was confused. The Dragon Lock tactical method was invincible. How could it be broken? Long Fei was merely in the war spirit realm, so his cultivation was even more impossible. Why did this happen? Long Lei couldn't understand. He didn't even know how the Dragon Lock tactical method was broken through. How did Long Fei know? Where was the formation core? Furthermore, no one knew. Only the ancestors of the Long family who created this formation back then knew about it. So how could Long Fei know about it? Furthermore, what exactly was the weapon beside Long Fei? He was actually able to release 8 incomparably violent thunder dragons, each with the strength of a thunderbolt that could kill 100 black armored elites in an instant. Longley looked at the black armored warriors turning into powder one after another. His heart sank even more as he muttered to himself, "This is not real. This is definitely not real." The might of holy artifact S were too powerful. The surrounding Long family troops were even more shocked. If the dragon lock tactical method could be broken through, then Long Fei's strength would be too strong. In the hearts of every single one of them, Long Fei's position would rise to a new height. Suddenly, Nangong Wu bellowed, "Brat, go and die." The surrounding Long family guards shouted loudly, "Young master, be careful." Nangong Wu's claws moved. Wind blew out from his 5 fingers, grabbing Xiang Longfei's head. If this claw hit, Long Fei's head would be ripped apart. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. He took out the dragon's salyer and laughed out loud. "My blade is already unable to endure the thirst." Buzz! The blood aura of the dragon, salyer moved. Shua! Long Fei took a step forward and directly faced Nangong Wu. A claw came at him. A blade came down. Roar! Roar! 2 roars of demonic beasts could be heard from the dragon's salyer. One was the wild mountain devil, the other was the divine tiger roar. Crack! Ah! Nangong Wu screamed out in pain. Both his claws were cut off and blood spurted out from his wounds. While he's sick, take his life. Teleport! Swish! Long Fei instantly appeared behind Nangong Wu, retracting the dragon's salyer and sinking both of his fists. Both fists hit the ground. The ground suddenly shook and the ground split apart. A powerful burst of earth energy directly blew Nangong Wu up into the air, and with a leap, Long Fei's fists were like hammers. Mountain hit fist. One hug, one bang. The large power King Kong ape's silhouette moved between heaven and earth and smashed right into Nangong Wu's head. Boom! Headshot. Instant kill. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Nangong Wu for obtaining an experience point. True Breath 200, energy values 10 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. The uplifting sound continued to ring out, releasing a few trashy items. Long Fei did not even take a glance at them, as he was not the least bit interested in them. The surrounding Long family troops were once again shocked by Long Fei. The slay of the dragon's salyer. The speed of teleportation. It could be described as perfect if all the links were linked by pure force. Too cool. He's really too handsome. If I were a woman, I would have loved young master to death. F***CK. If I were a woman, would it still be your turn? If you were women, then I would have killed you already. But young Master Long Fei is so handsome, we can't kill each other. Ha. Young Master, I love you. I want to give birth to your baby. Some of the Long family soldiers were so excited that they began to cry. The shock that Long Fei gave them got stronger and stronger, and the worship of power made them admire Long Fei even more. It was also at this time the Long family's army immediately surrounded Long Lei. Long Fei stood beside the Thunder Dragon rod and stared coldly at Long Lei. He then arrogantly said, "Long Lei, is this great?" Giggle. Long Lei clenched his fists tightly. The battle chi on his body gushed out berserk, directly forcing all of the Long family's troops who were near him to retreat. Long Fei. Gritting her teeth, Long Fei's gaze turned sinister as he laughed coldly. "Must be great, right?" Long Lei was infuriated. The armor on his body was immediately destroyed by the battle chi. With a move of his right hand, he took out a golden dragon spear, and with a move of his spear, he pierced through the air. Immediately, countless golden spears appeared in the air as Long Lei took a step forward. Boom! The killing intent on the battlefield flared up, and Long Lei rushed towards Xiang Longfei. "Be careful, young lord. Be careful, young lord. We will block Long Lei." The Long family army swiftly blocked. Long Fei shouted, "You guys get out of the way." As soon as he finished, Long Fei followed suit and stepped forward, hooking up the Thunder Dragon rod that was stuck in the ground with his feet. The Thunder Dragon rod flew in midair and then landed heavily. In that instant, Long Fei moved to Long Lei's side, holding onto the Thunder Dragon rod with one hand and thrusting it forward fiercely. Boom! One spear, the other staff collided with each other. His strength exploded outwards. The Thunder Dragon rod in Long Fei's hands was about to fall out. If it wasn't because the Thunder Dragon rod was a holy artifact, he would have already been blown away. It had to be said that Long Lei was very strong. If it was a fight with bare hands, Long Fei would not be his match. However, in this day and age, who would fight barehanded? With a holy artifact, of course they had to use it. In that instant, with a move of Long Fei's right hand, he brought out the Dragon Salyer and laughed wildly. Long Lei, go to hell with this daddy. Ha! Once the Dragon Salyer appeared, the bedevilment chi on the Dragon Salyer was completely different. The bloodlight saber chi moved. Long Fei released all the power he could muster from his right hand, skin opening. Boom! Flaming saber chi ignited. Tendon break. Boom! Break the bones. Slaying the blood, opening the eyes. Get down. Every time he swung his blade, Long Fei would fiercely charge forward with the Thunder Dragon rod in his left hand and the Dragon Salyer in his right. Facing the crushing suppression of two holy artifacts, no matter how powerful Long Lei was, he would not be able to block them. In the end, he was sent flying by the saber. Teleport. Long Fei disappeared from his spot, retracting his Dragon Salyer. Holding onto it with both of his hands, he fiercely stabbed at Long Lei's chest. Die. Boom! It directly pierced through Long Lei's body. Long Lei should have died under the Thunder Dragon rod. This was fate. Ding! Sister-in-law 1-/+ health. Strongest upgrade system. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Long Lei for obtaining an experience point. True Breath 300 points. Energy values 100 points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Spirit Gathering Bead. Spiritual Gathering Pearl. Long Fei was stunned. Chapter 2. 8_8419/2356477. Long Lei was not a boss. His cultivation was only at War Chief realm. Long Lei was not a boss. His cultivation was only at War Chief realm. Thus, Long Fei did not plan to waste his striking attribute on him. But he never imagined that a Spirit Gathering Pearl would actually explode out, and he was extremely shocked. Long Fei had read many books in the Long family scripture pavilion, including the Spirit Treasure Mirror, so the Spiritual Gathering Pearl was a very special existence. Long Fei was secretly excited and immediately checked the attributes. Item: Spiritual Gathering Pearl. Sword, grade, Earth Stage Level 1. Description: able to absorb all sword energy and slowly refine it. Once it is filled, it can be fused into a weapon, sword, to form a sword spirit. What kind of existence was a sword spirit? Even if you were to use a peerless expert of the sword, you might not even be able to train in sword spirits. Sword spirit is the spirit of the sword. It can also be said to release the soul outwards. The stronger the sword spirit, the stronger the power of the sword art you cultivate will be. It is a rare treasure. No, sword spirits were extremely difficult to refine, and it was extremely difficult for the Spiritual Gathering Pearl to absorb sword chi. Besides the Spirit Gathering Pearl sword, there was also the saber, spear, and beast, and so on and so forth, a series of Spiritual Gathering Pearls, each of which was an existence of sky-high prices. Long Fei was very excited. I have a blade and a staff. I still lack a holy artifact sword. This will make me even more eye-catching. At this moment, the Long family's army surrounded him and knelt down in unison. Greetings, young chieftain. At this moment, Long Fei had completely become the Long family's new ruler and had conquered all of their troops. Long Fei's eyes darkened. He looked at the 15,000 over Long family soldiers, picked up his Dragon Salyer, and raised it up, roaring, Go out and annihilate all of our Nan Gong army. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill. The roar of 15,000 Long family soldiers. The doors of the Wulong Valley opened wide, and Long Fei led his 15,000 brothers to kill their way out. In the distance, Nangong Kuen's face was pale white, his body dripping with blood. Seeing the entrance of the Wulong Valley open, he immediately became excited. Nangong Wu got it. Ha ha! Long Lei has brought the Long family army to attack. We could be saved this time. Even in his dreams, Nangong Kuen would never have thought that he would be attacked by a group of fierce beasts before he could attack first. The Class 5 magical beast had rushed in, and even he couldn't defend against it. Especially a female wolf. She was extremely savage, just like how she treated Nangong Jun. Nangong Kuen was simply unable to hold on. This wasn't much. They were running for their lives. Long Lei had brought over 4,000 Long clan disciples with him to attack from their butts. Moreover, they were surrounding them tightly. After more than 10 attempts, he had failed to break out of the encirclement. In the past, he had always heard that the Long family army was so strong that he didn't care about them at all. But now, he always experienced the cruelty of the Long family army. Nangong Kuen panted heavily and said, "Everything is over. Nangong Wu has brought over 10,000 of the Long family's troops over, and Long Lei and the rest are about to retreat." Just when he was feeling proud, one of the soldiers stumbled forward and said, "General." No, it's not General Nangong Wu, nor General Long Lei. Nangong Kuen's brows twitched. He grabbed him by the collar and lifted him into the air, then shouted, "If it wasn't them, then who could it be? Could it be that trash Long Fei?" Before he could finish, a roar resounded in the sky. "That's me. Kill them all. Other than Nangong Kuen, Nangong Jun will not keep anyone else." Long Fei and 15,000 Long family soldiers rushed out. "Ha ha ha! Young master, I can't help but fall in love with you." Meng Yu killed to his heart's content. In all his years as a soldier, he had never been as carefree as he was today. From the first time he saw Long Fei, when he confidently and unhurriedly jumped down the cliff. That kind of confidence, that kind of arrogant and domineering attitude, Meng Yu had been subdued. That feeling was very comfortable. Everything that had happened today made his blood boil. He had never felt such passion before. Not just him. It was the same for the Dragon Lightning, Dragon Wind, and Dragon Cloud tribesmen that numbered above 4,000. Every one of them was extremely excited because of Long Fei. Long Fei gave them something that no one else could give. The Long family would never admit defeat. They would never give in. It was also known as the military soul, the dragon soul. It was just one word. Everything that happened today was destined to be unforgettable for them, and this would make them proud for the rest of their lives. Kill. The sound of battle shook the sky once again. Long Shan killed a Nangong soldier with a single spear strike and shouted excitedly, "Young Lord is mighty. The young Lord is mighty. The young Lord is domineering." The furious roars made every soldier of the Long family feel proud. It made every one of them feel hot-blooded. At the same time, Long Fei was the same. This feeling was too refreshing. The encirclement grew smaller and smaller. With the addition of Long Fei's 15,000 members, Nangong Jun had completely lost his ability to resist. Even if Nangong Jun were to surrender, he would only be able to kill him. Long Fei would never allow anyone from the Nangong army to live, nor would he allow anyone to do so because this concerned the safety of the Long family in Fireglass City, about the safety of Grandpa and Uncle, and there was also Jojo and her shadow. Thus, he did not have any mercy. Even if he had to become a homicidal maniac, he would not hesitate. For the sake of the Long family, for the sake of his grandfather, for the sake of Jojo and the others, Long Fei was willing to sacrifice his life. A short hour later, the sky darkened. Nangong Jun's body was scattered across the battlefield. Not a single member of the Long family had died. This time, it was a complete massacre. Long Fei walked to the side of the Flame Wolf Queen, bowed deeply, and said, "Thank you for your help." I will send the order that I will not kill any flame wolves in hundreds of thousands of barren mountains from now on. If not for the help of this pack of flame wolves, today's ending would have been different. Long Fei was someone who would repay kindness. The Queen Mother Flame howled. Xiaobai said, Master, she said it's an honor to battle with you today. She's very happy. Long Fei stared at Xiaobai and said, Do you think I do not understand the beast language? You think you can tell me all this just because he called out? No, I didn't. No, 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 no. Huh? Xiaobai laughed. All right. She said it was because of me. Long Fei looked at the Queen Mother Wolf and said, No matter who it is, I want to thank you. Thank you. The Queen Mother Wolf slightly nodded. With admiration in her eyes, she supported Xiaobai as she revealed an ambiguous look, as though she wanted to mate with him. Xiaobai scolded angrily. I'm still young, okay? Don't look at me with that kind of eyes, or I'll cut you into pieces. Ha ha! Everyone laughed out loud. Wulong Valley. It was extremely lively. Today's battle was something they could brag about for the rest of their lives, especially the 4,000 warriors who fought valiantly. Equals semi/floating life plus, the battle here was over. However, Fireglass City's battle had just begun. The Long family was about to be annihilated. Chapter 3, 8_8419/23566478. Within the military tent. Within the military tent, Long Fei looked at the kneeling Nangong Kuan and coldly laughed. Write it or not, Long Fei, even if you kill me, I will not write anything. Nangong Kuan showed a very hard look. Immediately, Long Fei shouted, Xiaobai, bite him. Roar. Nangong Kuan was so scared that she went soft and said, I will write. He didn't want to see the wolf anymore, even if he died. The wolf had already cast a shadow over his heart. Not long later, Nangong Kuan wrote a letter according to Long Fei's instructions. Long Fei took a close look and confirmed that Nangong Kuan was not pulling any tricks. He then walked to the entrance of the tent and coldly said, Kill. Nangong Kuan immediately shouted, Ha ha ha. Long Fei, it's useless. Your Long family is destined to be annihilated. The Fireglass City has already made a move on the Long family. Ha. It won't be long before you get killed too. Ha ha. Long Fei. Crack. A head fell to the ground. Long Yun, Long Lei, and the others walked out. Long Yun asked, Young master, what do we do now? Long Lei said anxiously, Grand Elder and Patriarch definitely won't be able to defend against 3 Pillars' attacks. Furthermore, there's also the Nangong Imperial clan. Long Shan's eyebrows tightened as he said, This is still secondary, Grand Elder. The Grand Preceptor is severely injured, I'm afraid. The continued life pill s. What? Long Yun, Long Lei, Long Feng, Meng Yu, and the rest all looked at Long Shan in unison. Tell me clearly, what continued life pill are you talking about? What happened to the Grand Elder? Long Shan looked at Long Fei, and seeing that Long Fei did not refuse, he gritted his teeth and said, Nangong Lai from the War Master Reem tested Grand Elder's cultivation. In order to intimidate the 3 Pillars, Grand Master forcefully used the pressure of the War Master Reem twice, causing great loss to his vitality. What? Didn't Grand Elder break through the War Master Reem? Long Yun's face grew frantic. Long Fei continued. Grandfather's dragon blood activation is restricted and unable to break through. In order to suppress the other families, in order to protect me, he forcefully released the War Master Reem. Then what do we do now? The dragon computer was in chaos. They were all disciples that the Grand Preceptor had personally groomed, and everything about the Grand Preceptor affected them. Meng Yu's body was bandaged up, the dragon spear in his hand shook, and shouted, Then what are we waiting for? Let's kill our way back to Fireglass City. That's right. Kill back to the Fireglass City. If Nangong Lei dares to be arrogant, kill him. Long Feng said in a hurry. Long Yin looked at Long Fei, then looked at the exhausted Long family army, and muttered, These few days, Many of the Long family soldiers are exhausted and have no fighting strength left. Half of the over 50,000 soldiers of the Long family died because of Long Lei's betrayal. In addition to a full day of bloodshed, they were too tired, so many of them fell asleep on the ground. Long Fei knew this since long ago. Long Shan asked, "Then what should we do?" Humph! Long Fei took a deep breath and handed the letter over to Long Shan. "Hurry to the Nangong army camp and pass this letter to their general. Tell them that the Long family army has been accepted and that Nangong Kun will organize the Long family army here and return 10 days later. Have a Nangong battalion send a letter to Prince Nangong." Long Shan took the letter, and without asking about anything else, he mounted his horse and rapidly rode in the direction of the Nangong battalion. The first step had already been taken. Long Fei slightly said, "First, delay Nangong June. They will immediately inform the Fireglass City about what has happened here, and that way, the Fireglass City will not be on guard against the Long family's army. They will think that Nangong Kun has won, and that the Long family's army will be annihilated." Long Yun said with a slight smile, "Young master, if it's like this, won't the Grand Elder and the clan leader be in even greater danger?" As long as this news was spread to the Fireglass City, the powers in the three pillars would become even more unscrupulous, and there would be no need to worry about the Long family's army coming out at any time. Long Fei had thought of this too, and said, "I will rush to Fireglass City within a day." One day? We'll need at least 5 days to get to the Fireglass City. 1 day is simply impossible. Mengyu said, "Yeah, we can't make it in time at all. There's no way I can make it back." When Long Fei came, he had spent an entire 10 days. Even if he did not stop even after riding the fastest horse day and night, he would still need 5 days. Long Lei smiled excitedly and said, "Have you forgotten that the young chieftain has a huge dragon mount?" If that's the case." Everyone was excited as they looked at Long Fei. Long Fei smiled slightly. He did not want to reveal the secret of the time limit on fire and ice. Furthermore, if he used ice and fire, he wouldn't be able to summon them again within a day. What if the Fireglass City appeared? He had to use ice and fire to suppress the three pillars and the Nangong imperial family. However, Long Fei did not say it out loud. "I will be back in 1 day. This is the second step." Long Fei continued, "I alone am not enough to contend against the three pillars, and even the Ice-Fire Dragon is not enough, so you're the third, most important step. 5 days. Within 5 days, I need 10,000 steel cavalry to rush to Fireglass City." Not waiting for them to speak, Long Fei said, "Don't tell me we can't make it in time. We won't have the time to do that. We must reach there within 5 days. This is my limit. If you guys could not make it in time, the Fireglass Dynasty would not have the Long family." Understood. It had to be a death command. Long Fei knew very well that no matter how strong he was, or how strong he could kill those stronger than him, he could never be a match for the strong War Master. Moreover, there were experts from the War Master Ream in the King Nangong Palace, Li Martial Arts Sect S, and even the expert from the War Master in the Zhuge family, not to mention the abnormal master from the Emperor Nangong's family. They had to be intimidated by the Long family's army. The 10,000 dragon soldiers could easily kill the experts of the War Master realm. Long Yun clenched his fists and said, "Young master, don't worry. I will be there in 5 days. Even if I have to sacrifice my life, I will still rush to Fireglass City." Mengyu said heavily, "All right." Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and said, "I'll be waiting for you in Fireglass City. The life and death of the Long family will be in your hands." And then, Long Fei looked at the crowd, and then quickly ran out with the leopard girl following closely behind. True Breath was activated. Tiny rippling steps. Increasing his speed to its limit, Long Fei's heart secretly tensed up. "Grandfather, you have to wait for me to come back. You have to wait for me." At this moment, Long Fei raised his speed to its limit. Half, /float * life. The True Breath burned his body. His body was burning with heat. His strength seemed to be burning. His heart was filled with worry for his grandfather, the Long family, and Jojo. At the same time, Long Fei was still worried that the three Heaven Sect sisters would be involved. In that case, Long Fei's heart tightened as his speed increased once again. Wait for me. You must wait for my return. Chapter 4. 8_8494/2356479. Wulong Valley. Wulong Valley. Long Yun saw that Long Fei had instantly disappeared without a trace and muttered, "Can't we ride the giant Long Fei and leave? Could it be that young master? You want to run back? Run. How is that possible? They're going to break their legs. There must be a restriction on riding a dragon." Everyone shivered. Long Yun frowned and immediately shouted, "This matter must not be revealed to anyone. Young master, this is the young master. This is the Long family's person. What Dragon God blood essence is 0? What Dragon God warrior? From today onwards, I, Mingyu, will only recognize Long Fei as the young master." Everyone's hearts sank. Long Fei really worked hard. They had never seen such a desperate young lord. The Grand Elder did not have it, and neither did Long Zhanhai. In their hearts, Long Fei held an incomparably heavy weight in the hearts of the entire Long family's army. He had become a soul of the Long family's army. Let's not waste time either. We will rest for the night and leave tomorrow. We must reach the Fire Glass City within 5 days. The dragon cloud trembled. Everyone's eyes narrowed. Fire Glass City, Long family. Uff. Long Sanfeng spat out a mouthful of blood, his face extremely pale. Long Zhanhai immediately escaped the last continued life pill. With incomparable pain in his heart, he said, "Father, just let your son do it for you in tomorrow's battle." It was already the second day. For 3 days in a row, someone came to challenge him every day. First, it was Zhuge Yuan, then it was Li Tianyang. They were all War Master Ream rankers that took turns to challenge Long Sanfeng. And tomorrow was Nangong Lai. It was another expert of the War Master Ream. In every battle, Long Sanfeng would forcefully release the War Master Ream, and in every battle, he would suffer severe injuries. The continued life pill that he had just consumed was already the last one. In the battle tomorrow, if this continued, even if there were to Lu elixir, Long Sanfeng would definitely die. Long Zhanhai hated. She hated herself to the extreme. If she had been a little stronger, her father wouldn't have ended up like this. He clenched his fists, his nails digging into his flesh, blood dripping through his fingers. Looking at his father like this, he felt really bad. If it could be replaced, he would have to bear all the pain for his father. Cough, cough. Long Sanfeng continuously coughed out blood. Only after consuming the pill did the continued life pill slightly suppress the injuries on his body. Continued life pill could only be used to prolong life and could not revive the dead. Right now, Long Sanfeng had already reached the point where he was burnt out. If he fought again tomorrow, even the deities would not be able to save him. Long Sanfeng coughed a few times and asked weakly, "Don't worry about me. My old bones have been buried all over my neck. I have let down my ancestors." While they were talking, Long Sanfeng's eyes glimmered with tears. If not for the fact that my Long family would not have reached such a state if War Pavilion did not leave, huh? It's all my fault for punishing him too severely. This was the greatest pain in his life. It was also something he regretted the most. Long Zhanting's talent, potential, and dragon blood activation were all the strong ones in the past 100 years. His dragon blood activation had also reached 90 points. If he was still in the Long family wouldn't be like this. For this, Long Sanfeng blamed himself beyond reproach. Long Zhanhai said, "Father, at this time, you don't need to talk about this anymore. What's more, the battle pavilion did do the wrong thing back then." Sigh. Long Sanfeng cried, "I let him down. I let down the Long family." In the short period of less than 2 months since he had left, he seemed to have aged several dozens of years. From an energetic old man, he had turned into an old man who was at the end of his years. Long Zhanhai said, "Father, stop talking. If you want to blame something, blame it on me. It's because I'm useless. It's because I'm dull, unable to raise my dragon blood activation, unable to break through cultivation realm. It's because I'm useless. As he spoke, Long Zhanhai knelt on the ground with a thump and ruthlessly slapped himself in the face. He really hated himself. Why can't I be a little stronger? Why can't I share some of the burden from my father? In a Long family, Long Zhanhai trained the most and worked the hardest. After Long Zhanning left the Long family, he worked even harder. But the restriction of talent prevented him from breaking through that shackle no matter how hard he tried. Long Sanfeng immediately stopped them and said, "Zhanhai, you've done your best." Long Zhanhai bit his tongue until it bled, trying hard not to cry. Long Sanfeng continued to ask, "How's the progress of the task I assigned to you?" Long Zhanhai said, "Father, I have already sent 3 groups of people out of the city to rush to Dragon Mountain Valley. No matter what, I did not want Long Fei to return, but I received the news that Long Lei turned traitor and that the Long family troops that were accepted by the Nangong family would all be killed. I am afraid Long Fei." When the news of this spread to Fireglass City, the attitude of the 3 pillars and the Nangong imperial clan towards the Long family instantly changed. Following that, challenges followed one after another. Some of the Long family shops in the Fireglass City had been destroyed, leaving only the Divine Dragon Manor in the Long family. If it weren't for the 3 words Divine Dragon Manor bestowed by Grand Elder Nangong, the Long family's manor would have been destroyed. Cough, cough, cough. Cough, cough, cough. Anger attacked his heart, causing Long Sanfeng to continuously cough out blood. He looked at the pitch-black night, his hands started to tremble, and said, "Does the heavens want my Long family to die? Does the heavens want me to die? Huh?" Long Zhanhai held on to Long Sanfeng, not knowing what to say. At the same time, he made up his mind. No matter what, even if he had to sacrifice his life for tomorrow's battle, he would fight in place of his father. His father could no longer take a palm from the war master Reem. In tomorrow's battle, Nangong Lai would definitely give his all. At that time, as Long Zhanhai thought of this, his heart felt a sharp pain. I'm the patriarch of the Long family. I should be the one to shoulder all of this. Nangong Imperial Clan. Nangong Lei's face flushed red. He was exceptionally happy and laughed. Today, the 3rd wave of people sent by the Long family were killed by me. Huh? You still want to pass the news to the Long family's army? Ha ha. Long Zhanhai, you're really thinking too much. Li Chongtian also said excitedly, "My prince, I heard that the Long family's army has already been accepted by your Nangong army. Why are you still going to intercept them?" Nangong Lei laughed. "Killing one less, the Long family's influence will be weaker." "How great is that?" "Huh, ha ha, ha ha." Li Chongtian, Zhuge Tianlong, and Nangong Lei all laughed loudly. Zhuge Tianlong said, "Your Highness, tomorrow is Prince Nangong Lai's battle with Lunatic Long. This battle madman Long will definitely not be able to hold on." Nangong Lei said confidently, "My father will naturally not be a problem. Once Lunatic Long dies, the Long family will be destroyed. At that time, there will be no more Long family in Fireglass City. At that time, it will be our 3 pillars' world." Ha ha ha. The 3 of them laughed excitedly. The Long family was about to be annihilated. The 5th chapter was sent over. 8_8419/2356480. Long Fei's shoes were torn and his feet were badly mutilated, but he was still running with all his might as if he did not feel any pain. Long Fei's shoes were torn and his feet were badly mutilated, but he was still running with all his might as if he did not feel any pain. He had an ominous feeling that something was about to happen to the Long family. He couldn't wait. The leopard girl had been hiding behind him the entire time, and she was also panting heavily as she consoled, "Big brother Long Fei, your grandfather will definitely be fine. You should stop and rest for a while." Seeing Long Fei's legs covered in blood, the leopard girl felt a sharp pain in her heart. She didn't know what to say. I've never seen a man like this. Long Fei wanted to protect the Long family and his grandfather, but he was risking his life. If this continued, his legs would be crippled. Long Fei smiled lightly. "Don't worry, I'll be fine. No matter how bitter the physical pain was, it didn't matter. He didn't want to suffer the pain of losing his family. He didn't want to become an orphan and experience the feeling of not having a single family member. He really hated that feeling. Very annoying. He had to protect his hard-earned family love. Although he was a transcender, he really did put the Long family in front of his home. Long Sandfoam was his grandfather. He would do everything in his power to protect them. Even though the leopard girl was crying, she didn't know what to say. She wanted to carry Long Fei on her back, but Long Fei refused. I will definitely rush back. Definitely. Long Fei looked far into the distance, his gaze incomparably resolute. Grandfather, Jojo, you must wait for me. Long family. In a small thatched courtyard at the foot of the mountain. He knelt in the courtyard, looked at the night sky, and muttered, God, you must protect my young master's safety. I am willing to use my life in exchange. I beg you, please protect my young master. Please bless the Long family. In the darkness, the female assassin looked at Jojo, her eyes trembling. What made Jojo take out his own life to beg the heavens? She didn't understand. However, in her heart, Jojo was the kindest person in the world. In her heart, Long Fei was the best master she had ever met. Like Jojo, she also looked at the night sky and muttered, if possible, I am also willing. Bless him, bless the Long family. The branch of the Heaven sect. What should we do? What should we do? What do we do, big senior sister? Say something. Tomorrow. Nangong Lai will be challenging Long Fei's grandfather. Xiao Tian paced back and forth in the hall, incomparably anxious. What dogs hit 3 pillars are you talking about? Is there anyone like them bullying others? To take turns challenging the Long family. What's the point of this? Despicable, shameless. Yi Zian also looked at Lu Luoxi and said, Big senior, say something. As long as you say it, Elder Xiao will stop me from rushing out. Xiao Tian immediately said, I'm going too. Lu Luoxi looked at them and said, You think I don't want to? Do you think I don't want to save the Long family? Do you know who's guarding this yard? It's Elder Xiao himself. Yesterday, she had tried to charge out, but just as she took a step out of the courtyard, she was stopped by Xiao Chongfeng. Moreover, other than him, there was another elder, an inner court elder. Lu Luoxi didn't even get to see the appearance of the elder. No one wanted to save the Long family more than she did. She owed Long Fei a lot. She wanted to repay him, but she couldn't even get out the door. So what if he rushed out? Nangong Lai of the War Master Ream. They were simply no match for him. Block? What should he use to stop them? Even so, Lu Luoxi also wanted to give a try. If Long Fei wasn't around, she couldn't just watch the Long family get annihilated. How would she be able to face Long Fei in the future? Huff! Lu Luoxi's eyes darkened and said, You all want to save the Long family, right? Xiao Tian immediately replied, I do. 3 pillars people are really unpleasing to the eye, despicable, shameless, and despicable. And that Dongfang Jian, she actually had an affair with Long Fei's fiancé, and she was even brought here. I wish I could tear off her face, truly shameless. Yi Zian also said, Big senior, just tell me what to do. Lu Luoxi was similarly not pleased with Dongfang Jian, and was even more so not pleased with Nangong Yan. He was clearly Long Fei's fiancé, but the entire city clearly knew about it, yet they still did not know how to rein it in. She was angry at Long Fei. Lu Luoxi said, Listen to my orders. Tomorrow morning, when Nangong Lai challenges grandfather Long Fei, Elder Xiao, that inner court elder, Dongfang Jian, and the others will all go and watch. That is our chance. They had gone for the first 2 challenges, but this was the 3rd. Furthermore, they were experts from the Nangong Imperial clan. Thus, they would definitely go as well. Thus, it was the best time for them to get out of here. Big senior, so you already had a plan. Xiao Tian giggled. Big senior sister, tell me, do you like that bastard Long Fei? Yi Zian joked. Little junior sister apprentice, you just noticed eldest senior sister already liked him. Xiao Tian laughed mischievously and said, Didn't I say it before? For us 3 sisters to marry one man must definitely be fun. Lu Luoxi glared. You're not serious. Xiao Tian stuck out her tongue towards Lu Luoxi. Yi Zian whispered, Senior sister, what about Hong Tianjun? Lu Luoxi's heart sank and his brows furrowed. His expression changed, and he immediately said, All of you, go and prepare for tomorrow's battle. You must protect Grandfather Long Fei and the Long family. This is the best way for us to repay Long Fei. Hong Tianjun, her fiancé. This was a thorn in Lu Luoxi's heart. It was extremely uncomfortable. However, she could not pull out, nor did she have the qualifications to do so. No matter what, Lu Luoxi tried her best not to think about all these, and she was also tried her best to keep a distance from Long Fei. She was afraid that she would really fall in love with him, and that she wouldn't be able to leave Long Fei's side. At the same time, she was also afraid of bringing trouble to Long Fei, because Hong Tianjun's background was more powerful than anyone else's. The Nangong Imperial Clan. Within the underground dragon fountain secret room, Nangonghor reported what had happened today. Master thought for a moment, then said, Seems like the Long family has exhausted all their energy. You should not get involved with this matter, and should not support it or oppose it. The Long family is already like this. They have no way to reverse the situation. Their demise is already certain. The two sword-like eyebrows of the Nangong master were slightly startled and laughed coldly. The Nangong family's biggest threat is finally going to be annihilated. Since the founding of our ancestors' Fireglass dynasty, the threat the Long family has posed to our Nangong family has never stopped. The incident with the Dragon Salyer was also a blow to our Nangong family. It's a pity that we did not bring the Long family down that time. This time, the Nangong master revealed a sinister smile and said, Lunatic Long, you are unable to escape from this calamity. Chapter 6, 8_8419/2356481. In Fireglass City, the undercurrents were surging. A true reshuffle was brewing. Early morning, the streets were flooded with people, all rushing to one place. Holy Dragon Mansion. It's the final battle. Today is the last battle. If Long Sanfeng is able to hold on, the Three Pillars family will no longer challenge him. The Long family will be in danger. What will the result be today? Would Long Sanfeng be thinking of forcibly releasing the War Master's Qi like he did 2 days ago? I heard that his cultivation is only at the War Elder Realm, and he had been forcefully jumping levels to release the War Master Ream all along. I also heard that no matter how strong the continued life pill is, it's not a medicine for reviving the dead. There's definitely no way I can save him today. The crowd began to discuss amongst themselves. On the streets, Lu Feng from the Fengyuan Merchant Union looked at the crowds on the streets and heaved a long sigh. The Long family is finished. At this moment, a middle-aged man walked down from the pavilion, his face ice cold. He glanced at Lu Feng and said coldly, The Fengyuan Merchant Union has invited you to do something, to make you sigh over whose family is finished. Whoever is done doesn't care about our affairs. Our Fengyuan Merchant Union's goal is to not interfere in any place's business. Lu Feng, please remember this clearly. Lu Feng bowed slightly and said, Yes, Pavilion Master. Then he walked into the room and began to count. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk, seniors, please don't make things difficult for us. If you leave, Master will punish us. Hey. Xiao Tian knocked him out with her sword, then stuck out her tongue. Little Deng, I'm sorry. Senior sister, let's hurry up. The three Heaven Sect sisters rushed towards the Long family's residence. Nangong Lei quietly waited in front of his closed-door cultivation room. Behind him stood Nangong Yin, Dongfang Jian, and the black-robed old man. Dongfang Jian slightly said, Isn't it just a lunatic dragon? He's already a dying man. If I were to make a move, I could kill him. There's no need to trouble your grandfather, right? Black-robed man coughed lightly. Dongfang Jian's expression changed, and he did not say anything else. Nangong Yin held Dongfang Jian's hand and said gently, "Big brother Jian, once the Long family is annihilated, bring me to the Sky Sect." Nangong Yin waited for this day for a long time. With the destruction of the Long family, even if Long Fei didn't die, he had become a stray dog. He didn't dare to appear in the Fire Glass City at all, so naturally, he no longer had an engagement with her. She didn't have any scruples. Dongfang Jian was immediately overjoyed and quickly nodded. "Sister Yin, I've already told father about our matter. He told me to bring you to the Sky Sect to show you. You can rest assured." Nangong Yin leaned into Dongfang Jian's embrace, pretending to be shy, and said, I'll be shy when I see your father. He couldn't wait to go to the Heaven Sect right now. Dongfang Jian laughed like a blossoming flower. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Nangong Yin buried his head in Dongfang Jian's embrace, incomparably happy. For her, directly following Dongfang Jian into the Heaven Sect would save him a lot of trouble, so he would not need to go to Banquet of Forbidden Peak or participate in the competition next spring. A lot of things can be saved, even though, after being guided by Dongfang Jian and the black-robed old man for the past few months, her cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. She did not have to worry about these exams, but she was a person who liked to take shortcuts. If he could go directly to the Heaven Sect, he would go straight there. At this moment, the door to the chamber opened. Nangong Lai walked out of the secret room and directly went to the side of the black-robed old man, bowing to him and thanking him. "Thank you for your spirit pellets. My internal injuries are all gone. My cultivation has advanced further." The black-robed elder faintly smiled. "Your Highness, you are too polite." The aura around Nangong Lai's body was completely different from a few days ago. Previously, when he was fighting with Long Sandfoam, he suffered some light injuries. He thought that he would need half a year to recover, but the old man gave him a spirit pill, and he recovered within 3 days. Nangong Lai laughed. "Let's go to the Long family. Lunatic Long, today you will certainly die." Nangong Lai was ecstatic, and everything proceeded according to his expectations. The Long family was annihilated. He would quickly take over the power of the Long family, and the Long family army would do the same. This would double his power, and at that time, he would be able to fight with Nangong Hua. Nangong Hua stood on top of the Imperial Palace's city gate, looked at the red sun rising from the east, and lightly said, "The sky is going to change. Fire Glass City is going to reshuffle." Haha. Holy Dragon Mansion. Zhuge Yuan from the Divine Zhuge family, Li Tianyang from the Li martial arts sect, and all the famous aristocrats in the city had all come. The Long family martial arts arena. The place was packed with people, more people than the last Long family arena battle. Zhuge Yuan smiled and said, "Today, Lunatic Long won't be able to escape death." Li Tianyang laughed. "Yesterday, fighting with me, he was already severely injured. If he were to forcefully release the War Master's Chi today, even his life would be forfeit." Lunatic Long, a generation of heroes of the Long family, is about to perish. The Long family is about to die too. I don't know why, but I'm so happy. Haha. Zhuge Tianlong, Li Chongtian, and the others were all extremely excited and happy. Zhuge Jianxiang coldly snorted. "It's just a favor for that dog Long Fei. If he was here, I would definitely make him kneel in front of me and kowtow and admit his mistake." During this time, Zhuge Jianxiang trained for the Banquet of Forbidden Peak with all his might, and the Zhuge family gave all their cultivation resources. With the help of the spirit pills, Zhuge Jianxiang's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds in the past 2 months. He had already stepped into the War Chief realm. Li Jun laughed. "Brother Chong, that trash Long Fei has probably turned into Sage Astra's tea long ago." Zhuge Jianxiang was startled. "What do you mean?" Li Yi laughed loudly. "They were eaten by demonic beasts and digested. Isn't it just Sh Astra's tea they pulled out?" "Huh, ha ha, ha ha." The two of them started laughing maniacally. Li Yi was one of the most outstanding younger generation disciples of Li martial arts sect, and also one of the Li family disciples that had participated in the Banquet of Forbidden Peak competition this time. He and Zhuge Jinxiang could be said to be the two tyrants of the Fire Glass City. He did all sorts of evil. All of the Long family disciples in the martial arts arena were unusually unhappy. Hearing Li Yi and Zhuge Jinxiang speak of their young master like that, they all felt stifled anger in their hearts. Zhou could not stop and directly rushed in front of Zhuge Jinxiang, shouting, "The two of you are the ones who have turned into Sage *T." Just as Zhuge Jinxiang was laughing happily, Zhou arrived in front of him and was shocked. At the same time, his eyes flashed with a trace of evil, and he said, "I had long heard that there was a servant girl beside Long Fei who looked like a fairy. It must be you, right? Little beauty." Zhou coldly snorted. "Please speak with respect. This is the Long family, not a place for hooligans like you to behave atrociously." Yo, what a powerful mouth. Li Yi's eyes were also filled with an evil light as he said, "Little beauty, come have some fun with us." As they spoke, equals semi/floating life plus, a hand went up to her, also here. A cold dagger was placed on Li Yi's neck. A cold voice filled with killing intent rang out. "If you dare to even touch her, your head will fall to the ground." Cold. Li Yi immediately stopped and nearly peed his pants in fright. Chapter 7 arrived. 8_8419/2356482. I won't move. I won't move. I won't move. I won't move. I won't move at all. You have to be careful. If you hurt me. Li Yi's voice was cold as he looked to the side with the corner of his eyes. It was the same for Zhuge Jinxiang. He, too, did not dare to make a move. There was also a cold dagger on his neck. With just a slight movement, that dagger would pierce through his throat. Zhou stood there, huffing and puffing. "Young Master Long Fei will not die. You all are all big, stupid pigs." Huh. The two of them were stunned. Even Shadow was stunned for a moment. What is a big, stupid pig? Zhou really did not know how to curse, and could only stammer and stutter for a long while. To her, the big, stupid pig was already her limit. With that, Zhou left in a huff. The silhouette said coldly, "Don't move, don't move, don't move." The sound gradually disappeared. Zhuge Jinxiang and Li Yi turned around after a few minutes, but there was no trace of them. The two of them relaxed, causing Zhuge Jinxiang to breath heavily, and said fiercely, "You two little bitches, just you wait. Once Lunatic Long dies, I want to see where you can run to." Li Yi said in a bad mood, "It's not good for one. This time there are two of them. Strong brother, we each happen to have one." Ha. Soon, the two of them started laughing gleefully again. At this moment, the crowd was in an uproar. The people from the Nangong Imperial clan have arrived. The Duke of Nangong has arrived. Everyone turned to look, only to see Nangong lay slowly walking out with his daughter and Dongfang Jian. At this moment, the sky darkened and an arrogant war master aura diffused outwards. With a heavy roar, he shouted, "Long Sanfeng, come out and die." As soon as his voice fell, the sky began to rumble with thunderous explosions. This was the sound of the war master ream's pressure crushing the air. It was also the standard of the war master ream. It was extremely vigorous. In the entire training grounds, other than a few experts of the war master ream, everyone's heart sank. Their breaths and sounds were all crushed. There was no sound from the audience. Nangong Lai descended from the skies and landed on the stage. The moment he landed, the aura of the war master exploded once more, forming a string stripes that shot out explosively. As though releasing all of their might, everyone's breathing became normal and their voices returned to normal. What a powerful aura. The Nangong family's #1 expert. Ha. Brother Lai, I was still injured a few months ago. I never thought that not only is I fully recovered, my peak realm is almost at the first level of the War Master. War Master level 1, peak realm. He could be considered the strongest existence in 3 pillars. Zhuge Tianlong, Li Chongtian's heart sank, and looked at Dongfang Jian who was beside him. They were all jealous. The backers of the Sky Sect were indeed different. Nangong Lai's arrogant and unbridled gaze swept across the entire arena. The thick aura of the War Master Reem surged forth once again as he roared out, "Lunatic Long, come out and accept your death." Boom, boom, boom. His voice was like an explosion, echoing in the air above the Long family residence. "Why are you making such a ruckus? Nangong Lai, whose voice do you think is louder?" Long Sanfeng walked out. The Long family disciples quickly opened a path. Long Zhanhai followed behind him, staring at Nangong Lai, who was standing on stage, his fists clenched tightly. "Ha!" Nangong Lai laughed out wildly, looked at Long Sanfeng, and laughed. "I didn't have enough last time. Today I will fight you for 300 rounds. Lunatic Long, you won't reject, will you?" "Of course. It's fine if you refuse. The entire Long family will be reduced to our Nangong Imperial Clan slaves." Long Sanfeng's eyes opened wide, as though he was glaring at King Kong, and shouted, "Impudent!" Boom! The aura of the War Master in his body shook as well, releasing a powerful aura that shook the entire martial ground. Nangong Lai sneered and said, "Lunatic Long, you are already at the point where you have run out of oil, yet you still dare to forcefully release War Master Reem. You truly overestimate yourself. Nangong Lai, you'll see if I overestimate my capabilities later." Long Sanfeng revealed a strange smile. He was ready. Even if he died, he would also drag Nangong Lai down with him. If Nangong Lai died, the power of the Fireglass City would be reshuffled once again. The Li family and the Zhuge family definitely wouldn't let go of this good opportunity. Thus, with Nangong Lai dead, maybe the Long family still had a chance of survival. Nangong Lai was not scared at all, and sneered, "Don't waste your breath, Lunatic Long. Come up and die." Long Sanfeng moved. At this moment, Long Zhanhai suddenly moved. He flew up to the arena ahead of him and stood in front of Nangong Lai, saying slightly, "I'm the Long family's patriarch. If you want to challenge my father, you have to pass through me first." "Huh?" Nangong Lai looked at Long Zhanhai contemptuously and laughed coldly. You don't even have the qualifications to fight me, so scram to the side." Long Sanfeng also anxiously said, "Zhanhai, get down here." Long Zhanhai didn't move and sneered, "What? Are you scared?" "Nangong Lai, if you are afraid, I will let you use one hand." As soon as his voice faded, the entire city was in an uproar. "Is he courting death?" Nangong Lai squinted his eyes and said coldly, "If you're courting death, then don't blame me." He moved his body. Boom! The aura of the War Master quickly pounced towards Long Zhanhai. Nangong Lai's figure also arrived in front of Long Zhanhai in an instant as his right palm moved. Ardent Flame Palm. Long Zhanhai simply could not see Nangong Lai's figure clearly. The difference in levels was simply too great. He was only a war chief, and was fundamentally not on the same level. The moment he rushed up the arena, he knew what his ending would be. Death. But he wanted to use his own death to consume more of Nangong Lai's true breath, and also buy a bit more time for his father. He was the Long family's head. In his heart, he hated himself for being limited in talent. He hated himself for not being able to take up the banner of the Long family. He hated himself for being useless. However, he knew that he was the Long family's patriarch, and he was slightly worried that Duan Ling Tian would have to shoulder the responsibility. Bam! Long Zhanhai did not retaliate. Instead, he used all of his true breath for defense and struck him in the chest with his palm. All of his clothes on his chest burned away, and a palm print clearly visible on his 5 fingers burned his chest. Cough, cough, cough. Long Zhanhai coughed immediately, blood gushing everywhere. Nangong Lai disdainfully said, "You overestimate yourself." "Who knew?" Long Zhanhai crawled up with much difficulty, looked at Nangong Lai with a pale face, and shouted, "I haven't lost yet." Nangong Lai frowned. "You didn't lose, did you?" As soon as he finished, a palm struck out. Long Zhanhai got up again and said, "I haven't lost yet." Nangong Lai was enraged and said, "Do the Long family members have bones? I want to see how hard your bones are." equals half caret float hashtag life caret. Both of his hands formed fists, and the moment Long Zhanhai stood up, bang, bang, bang. His fist was like a violent storm as it punched out. Did you lose? Huh. Chapter 8 is here. 8_8419/2356483. With every punch, Long Zhanhai spat out a mouthful of blood. With every punch, Long Zhanhai spat out a mouthful of blood. After 10 seconds, he was covered in blood. However, as before, he did not fall, but his eyes were still staring straight at Nangong Lai. He grinned, revealing his bloody teeth, and laughed. I haven't lost yet, ha ha ha. Cough, cough, cough. Laughing and spitting blood. The entire audience was shocked. Everyone was dumbfounded. They were all shocked by Long Zhanhai. Even Long Sanfeng himself was the same, clenching his fists tightly, his teeth chattering loudly. Zhanhai, enough, enough. Patriarch! Patriarch! The eyes of all the disciples from the Long family were bloodshot. Looking at the bloodied Long Zhanhai on the stage, every one of the disciples was furious. The people from the other clans were also shocked. The Long clan really are tough. They didn't die even after being beaten up like this. Suddenly, Nangong Yin shouted loudly, "Grandfather, kill him!" With that said, many of the Long family disciples stared at Nangong Yin with passionate gazes, their eyes filled with hatred. How could such a woman be worthy of being the wife of the Long family? Nangong Yan's face revealed a sense of superiority and laughed coldly. A bunch of trash. Cluck, 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 cluck. Anger, incomparable rage. Jojo, the shadow, was extremely furious towards the three Sky Sect sisters. Xiao Tiantian could not help but say, I really want to tear her mouth apart. If Lu Luoxi did not stop her, she would have rushed out and fight to the death with Nangong Yin. At this moment, Zhuge Yuan also said, Brother Lai, since he's courting death, why be so lenient? Kill him, and then kill lunatic Long. Li Tianyang also laughed. Isn't the Long family's bones hard? Could he be harder than a knife? Brother Lai, do you want me to lend you a knife? The disciples of the three pillars all started to cheer. Kill him. Kill him. The scene had lost some control. The Long family disciples were also panicking. All of them were looking at the Grandmaster Long Sanfeng. Long Sanfeng stared at Nangong Lai and said, You dare. Nangong Lai was already filled with anger, but now that he had been made extremely unhappy by Long Zhanhai and also saw Long Sanfeng's angry expression, he laughed in disdain. See if I dare. Suddenly, Nangong Lai suddenly retreated a step and moved his palm. Boom! The flames began to burn. The strongest palm of the fiery palm. Exterminate the heavens. Long Sanfeng roared out. Zhanhai quickly dodged. As he spoke, he also rushed towards the arena. However, the distance was too far, and Nangong Lai's speed was just too fast. Without waiting for him to rush up the stage, Nangong Lai laughed sinisterly and said, Die. Burning heaven annihilation. Boom! The flame palm energy blotted out the sky and covered the earth as it rushed forward. Long Zhanhai simply cannot dodge it. He almost couldn't stand still as he stood there swaying from side to side. When he saw Nangong Lai rushing over, he used all his strength to say, The Long family will never surrender. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The sound shook the sky and the flames engulfed Long Zhanhai. Also at that instant, Long Zhanhai's body flew out like a broken kite and directly flew dozens of meters away, smashing into the wall of the martial arts arena. The whole wall collapsed. Long Zhanwu was buried within the ruins. Long Sanfeng rushed forward with all his might, while the other disciples of the Long family also rushed forward with all their might. Zhanhai, Patriarch! The power of this move was too strong. On the stage, Nangong Lai sneered and said, This is what happens when you overestimate yourself. Lunatic Long, the next one is you. Long Sanfeng's hands dug into the ground. His fingers were bleeding. He was completely unaware. The white color on his forehead had scattered down. At that moment, he really looked like a 100-year-old man. the old man who would fall if the wind blew. After digging Long Zhanhai out from the ruins, Long Sanfeng looked at his son who had a face full of dust and hugged him tightly in his embrace. Zhanhai, ah! 2 streams of tears fell down. Tears streamed down his face. With pain in his heart, Long Sanfeng coughed continuously to the point of spitting out blood. The eyes of the surrounding Long family disciples were also filled with anger, and they were also filled with incomparable grief. At this moment, cough, cough, Long Zhanhai coughed softly. While he was unconscious, he continued, I have not lost. I have not lost. The patriarch is still alive. A Long family disciple shouted. The entire audience was in an uproar. On the stage, Nangong Lai's eyes trembled. As though he had been humiliated, he clenched his fists tightly, and his joints started popping out. He's still alive. He's still alive. The patriarch is still alive. Long Sanfeng held on to Long Zhanhai's pulse. There's still her pulse, and pulse higher, higher. Tears of joy. Even though he was unconscious, he still had a weak pulse. He was not dead. At this moment, Lu Luoxi quickly rushed over, squatted down beside Long Sanfeng, and said, Grandpa Long, this is a spiritual recovery pill. It's a heaven-tier healing pill. Quickly give it to him to consume. Long Sanfeng immediately said gratefully, Thank you. Break open Long Zhanhai's mouth and let him consume this spirit pellet. Nangong Lai suddenly moved. Boom! He instantly stood behind Long Sanfeng and said angrily, Since he said he did not lose, then this battle is not over yet. Continue. The mountain peak of the dragon trembled in anger. With a roar that was like a dragon's, it said, Nangong Lai. Lu Luoxi took out his sword and blocked in front of Nangong Lai, then said, Nangong Lai, the person has already been beaten to such a state by you. Are you still not going to stop? Xiao Tian, Yi Zian rushed over. Xiao Tian also took out his long sword and said, I won't allow you to continue bullying Grandpa Long. Jojo stood outside, extended his hands, blocking Nangong Lai's path, and said, You are not allowed to bully the Grand Elder. Shadow was waiting for the right moment to make his move. The 3 sisters of the Heavens sect stood up. There was another round of whispers. Nangong Lai also frowned, looking at him from the corner of his eyes. Dongfang Jin coldly snorted and said, Lu Luoxi, what are you trying to do? The Heaven sect have no right to interfere in the matters of the Fireglass City. The 3 of you must quickly retreat. Lu Luoxi did not bother about him at all and looked at Nangong Lai. Today, I will use my status as an inner disciple of the Sky sect to warn you. Do not take any action against the Long family, or else. As she spoke, a sound transmission from the idea reached Nangong Lai's sea of consciousness. Nangong Lai laughed in scorn, and before Lu Luoxi could finish, he immediately cut him off and said, Otherwise, what about it? Xiao Tian huffily said, Otherwise, I won't be courteous to you. How dare you? Boom! A burst of warm master pressure burst out from Nangong Lai's body, immediately crushing Xiao Tiantian's mind, causing him to cough out a mouthful of blood. Lu Luoxi's brows tightened. Tiantian, junior sister apprentice. The 2 girls moved at the same time, both swords aimed towards Nangong Lai. It was also at this time. Long Sanfeng's figure blurred as he shouted, Nangong Lai, the person you want to challenge is me. It has nothing to do with them. Come. With that, he flew to the stage, where the warm master was burning, eyes bloodshot, staring straight at Nangong Lai. Equals semi/floating life plus, Nangong Lai laughed coldly. At this moment, Fireglass City, City Gate. We've finally arrived. Chapter 9. Sent. 8_8419/2356484. Long Family, Martial Arts Practice Field. Long Family, Martial Arts Practice Field. After retracting Nangong Lai's aura, Xiao Tian was unable to stand steadily. If not for Yi Zian's timely support, he would have fallen to the ground. Xiao Tian could not hold on and vomited another mouthful of blood. The difference in realm between her, and Nangong Lai was too big. She could not withstand the pressure of the War Master Rimadal. In other words, Xiao Tiantian's foundation was deep. If it was a normal warrior, his internal organs would have probably ruptured and he would die. Senior sister, don't let him enter the arena. If Grandpa Long is willing, then he's definitely not a match for him. Xiao Tian said weakly. Yi Zian looked at Lu Luoxi. Suddenly, the two girls attacked at the same time. Whoosh whoosh. Asterisk 2 swords struck over. The sword technique behind it was extremely profound. The figure moved, like a fairy scattering flowers. It directly sealed off Nangong Lai's path. Nangong Lai was forced to take a few steps back. With a grimace between his eyebrows, he stared at Lu Luoxi and said, Miss Lu, Miss Yi, I don't want to hurt you too, but don't provoke me, or humph. In the arena, Long Sanfeng also said, Ladies, many thanks for your kind intentions. This is a matter of the Long family. It should be handled by me. He knew a little about the rules of the Heaven Sect. Do not interfere in local affairs. If you offend, you will be severely punished. His heart was filled with gratitude towards Lu Luoxi and the others, especially since that spirit pellet had saved his son's life. He was grateful in his heart and was also happy for Long Fei. However, he couldn't let them get involved. Lu Luoxi replied, Grandpa Long, we promised Long Fei that we would protect the Long family. We will definitely do so. This was a lie to Long Sanfeng. Long Fei hadn't told him anything at all. Yi Zian stared at Nangong Lai and said, Since you know our names, then you should be clear of our position in the Heaven Sect. Nangong Lai, you are anxious to stop now. To offend us, your King Nangong residents will not benefit. Indeed, they were both the daughters of inner court elders and possessed formidable powers. Nangong Lai was also troubled in his heart, but the voice just now told him that there was no need to worry about all this. Nangong Yin was extremely unhappy to hear what Lu Luoxi said, and said, Big Brother Jian, I hate them. Dongfang Jian suddenly moved. Her figure was floating like a fairy as she landed beside Nangong Lai, and lightly smiled. Grandpa Lai, just leave the things that you have to do to me. The two of them will do. Dongfang Jian's appearance shocked the entire arena. Everyone was looking at him, and there were quite a few girls who were infatuated with him. So handsome. What a gorgeous movement technique. His background is not simple at all. I heard that he is the only son of the Chao Tian sect's vice sect master, and that his cultivation has reached the peak realm, so he is very strong. Sai, with this relationship, Nangong Lei will have an even greater power in the Duke Nangong Palace. Everyone was discussing Dongfang Jian. Dongfang Jian's gaze was ice cold, his expression filled with contempt, extremely arrogant. Nangong Yin enjoyed the discussions around him and spoke in a spoiled manner. Big Brother Jian, do your best. Nangong Lai said, Little Jian, then I'll leave them to you. Dongfang Jian moved his sword, releasing the aura of the peak of the war chief, and said, Grandpa Lai, don't worry. Then, Dongfang Jian stared at Lu Luoxi and said, Junior sister apprentice, I advise the two of you to obediently surrender. I don't want to injure the two of you. Umph, Yi Zian said unhappily. I still don't know who's injured. Schwa. The two of them moved at the same time as Lu Luoxi stopped Nangong Lai with a sword. Nangong Lai did not move. Dongfang Jian blocked his attack with his sword and sent Lu Luoxi's sword flying. With a step forward, he pointed his cold sword at the center of Lu Luoxi's brows, revealing a cold and disdainful smile. Junior sister apprentice, you're too weak. You're not my opponent at all. Is that so? Look behind you. He didn't know when. The image of a sword-teeth tiger appeared behind Dongfang Jian. The idea moved. The sword-teeth tiger roared and pounced forward. This was the highest quality sword-teeth tiger rune that Long Fei had refined. It was very powerful. Dongfang Jian frowned, his figure flashed, and a burst of strong sword chi burst out from his body. Shocking moon sword technique, break for me. Buzz! The sword chi moved and thrusted forward, causing the top-quality sword-teeth tiger talisman to fall onto the sleigh. However, at this moment, his back felt a chill. Lu Luoshi's long sword pierced forward, while Yi Zian, who was at the other side, also thrust forward. Dongfang Jian was very unhappy and shouted angrily, "Junior sister apprentice, you are courting death." Buzz! Dongfang Jian's body released a burst of power. Following that, his figure became extremely heavy, as though there were suddenly multiple clones inside his body. Sky Sword Art. Top-tier sword technique in the Chao Tian sect. You, how could you know this kind of sword technique? You have no right to train at all. Yi Zian exclaimed. The illusory sky sword technique, a peak 9th level heaven stage sword art that was one level higher than the 9 heavens divine sword technique. It was a sword art that could create multiple illusions. It was extremely sharp. Dongfang Jian coldly snorted and said, "Since you know, then just lie down." Whoosh, 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 asterisk whoosh, 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 asterisk whoosh, whoosh, asterisk Dongfang Jian created 3 clones images. Every sword attack was as fast as lightning and instantly broke Lu Luoshi's sword technique and even directly injured them. Swish, swish. Lu Luoshi and Yi Zian staggered backwards, their clothes stained red on their shoulders, their faces pale white. To slay S. Xiao Tian was not convinced. Dongfang Jian, I will fight it out with you. Dongfang Jian sneered and said, "Just now, it was I who remembered your father's identity and already killed you. Don't you dare come back. I will absolutely not show mercy." Lu Luoshi's gaze turned cold as he said, "Then don't be lenient." Up. The 3 sisters rushed up together. At the same time, rumble, rumble, rumble. A series of thunderous booms rang out. The 3 women were instantly stunned. On the stage, Long Sanfeng's body was swaying unsteadily. Blood was continuously flowing out of his mouth, and his battle chi was completely suppressed. Nangong Lai's palm struck Long Zhanwu's chest, flipped him over, and stepped on him. He coldly laughed. "Lunatic Long, is that all you have? Weren't you always so arrogant? Isn't your Long family awesome? Huh? You're a dead dog now? Ha ha!" Previously, he was stomped by the Long family, but now, the anger in his heart was released, and his right leg slashed down heavily. Boom! He stepped on Long Sanfeng's chest. Crack! His ribs were fractured and blood spurted out. Nangong Lai laughed sinisterly. "Come, get up and come again. Today, I want to see how hard the Long family's bones are." His right fist moved. 36, search. Half floating / equals. The true breath in Nangong Lai's pubes started to surge crazily as it punched towards Long Sanfeng's head. Die. It was also at this time. The crowd exclaimed, "There's a huge dragon in the sky." The 10th chapter was delivered. 8_8419/2356485. A cry of alarm rang out. A cry of alarm rang out. Many people raised their heads to look at the sky. Next, there's a huge dragon. There's a giant dragon in the sky. Dragon. Look, it's a dragon. His astonished expression was just like an hour later when he saw the plane in the sky. He was very excited, but also very surprised. Suddenly, someone is standing on the back of the dragon. Sure enough, there's someone standing on the dragon's back. Who is that person? It seems to be Long Fei. His voice was like a bomb, exploding in martial arts arena. Even Nangong Lai, who was on the stage, suddenly stopped and looked towards the sky. The Long family disciples were all shocked. Young Master is back. The people from the 3 pillars were also shocked, especially Nangong Lai, as they thought to themselves, why is he back? Eldest senior sister, it's him. It's Long Fei. Xiao Tian didn't know why, but he couldn't help but cry. He looked at the sky and yelled, "Bastard, you also know how to come back?" Lu Luoshi, Yi Zian also could not hold back their tears. Jojo shouted loudly, "Young Master, save grandfather." Who else could it be other than Long Fei, who was riding on the dragon's back? He had just entered the city when he heard the passers-by discussing the Long family's matter. Immediately, without caring about anything else, he summoned the fire and ice directly. Long Sandphone laid on the ground and looked at the sky. Looking at the huge dragon, he laughed, then laughed out loud as the corners of his eyes became moist. The heavens won't kill my Long family. Ha ha. The heavens will not destroy my Long family. At this moment, Nangong Lai's eyes turned sinister. He stared at Long Sandphone, who was on the ground, and laughed coldly. Heaven will not destroy the Long family. I will exterminate it. Lunatic Long, go to hell. The punch landed. The disciples of the Long family shouted in unison, Grand Elder! Long Zhanhai slowly woke up, looked at his father who was on the stage, and exclaimed, Father! Grandpa Long! Everyone's heart rose to their throats. This punch of Nangong Lai's would definitely blast Long Sandphone to death, and he would definitely not show any mercy. Jojo looked at Long Fei, who was in the sky, and muttered, Young master, quickly save grandfather. Roar. Master, the distance is enough. Ding. Target locked. Long Fei hysterically roared. Nangong Lai, fuck your ancestors. Ice and fire, 9 heavens. The first stage. Kill. Long Fei looked at his grandfather who was on the stage, and his heart was crying blood. From the moment he arrived, he did not hesitate at all and directly released his skill of combining ice and fire. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A black vortex appeared in the sky, and it split into 9 layers. In that instant, Long Fei's idea and the ice and fire idea combined into one. It directly drew upon the strength of the first level. A ray of laser light shot down and directly pierced through Nangong Lai's body. Ah! 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 Nangong Lai screamed like a pig being butchered, his entire body trembling. His fist was just a few centimeters away from Long Sandphone, but it couldn't hit him down no matter what. It was as if everything in his body had been completely crushed. Unwell. It was extremely uncomfortable. Boom. A loud sound echoed out. Nangong Lai's body suddenly exploded, and it happened in this very instant. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Nangong Lai for obtaining 10 experience points, true breath points, and energy values points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Thunderclock. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Several notifications sounded consecutively. Ha ha ha! The clan foundation treasure of the Nangong family, the Thunder Clock, has been revealed. Long Fei was shocked. Instant kill. The first floor's ice and fire 9 heavens had a 5% chance of being instantly killed. He never thought that it would be met by Nangong Lai. However, Long Fei was only slightly shocked for a moment. Other than the Thunderclock S, he did not care what happened to Nangong Lai. Boom! The entire stage was in ruins. Long Fei stood there, his eyes filled with endless killing intent, as he swept his gaze across the entire stage. Silence. No one made a sound. They were all looking at him. Long Fei walked to Long Sanfeng's side and helped him up. Seeing his grandfather's body covered in blood, the anger in his heart was like a volcano erupting, which released a cold, killing intent unstoppably. Is the Long family easy to bully? You like taking turns to challenge people, right? Come, everyone, come at your father. The War Master Reem is amazing, right? Zhuge Yuan, Li Tianyang, you two are awesome, right? Come on up. I don't believe that I can't kill you two despicable old bastards. While they were talking, ice and fire circled around the Long family household and also heavily descended. Standing at Long Fei's life, they suddenly roared out. Roar. It was too shocking. A man and a dragon. They were intrepid to the extreme. Zhuge Yuan couldn't say a word. It was the same with Li Tianyang. Their cultivation was higher than Long Fei's by a few dozen realms, but they could not break through this barrier. Yet they were completely crushed by Long Fei now. This feeling was too unbearable. The disciples of the 3 pillars were even more terrified. Some of them even fell to the ground from fright. Their legs became so weak that they couldn't even stand up. Who dared to move? He didn't even dare to go forward to issue a challenge. With one move, Long Fei killed Nangong Lai, who was at the peak of the first level of War Master. Who would dare to make a move? No one. Zhuge Yuan didn't dare to do so. Li Tianyang didn't dare to do so either. Their hearts were all cold, looking at Long Fei and looking at the huge dragon with sinister eyes. There was only fear in their hearts. There was no sound. Long Fei's gaze turned sinister. Aren't all of you very arrogant? Aren't you trying to kill my Long family? Are you fucking dumb now? Come on, aren't we going to kill him? Come the F***CK over to Lousy. He was like a mad demon. Along the way, he had thought about how the Long family would be in danger, but he never thought that it would be to such an extent. Still no one spoke. Long Fei's eyes turned and stared at Dongfang Jian, who was standing not far from the stage, and shouted, "You are awesome, right? Bullying my woman. What the F***CK are you? Come and fight me if you dare." Dongfang Jian's face was ashen. The hatred in his heart roiled about, but he didn't dare to move. And also because of fear, Xiao Tiantian stared at Long Fei with blinking eyes, her cheeks flushed red, and said shyly, "Who is your woman? It's embarrassing to say it in front of so many people." Long Fei stared at Dongfang Jian and said, "If you don't dare to come up, then scram." And then, Long Fei's gaze turned again as he stared at Nangong Lei, and said coldly, "Nangong Lei, your father was killed by me. Do you want revenge?" Nangong Lei did not dare to move. Long Fei looked at Nangong Lei's head beneath his feet, and then fiercely stomped his foot down and exploded it. "Come, take revenge for your father." "I dare not." No one dared. Chapter 11. Qingcheng, Xian. This chapter supports you for all this time. Haiyang thanks you for your support. 8_8419/2356486. Everyone was dumbfounded. Everyone was dumbfounded. The 1,000 people in martial arts arena were completely crushed by Long Fei alone. Domineering. An incomparable domineering aura. The last time was at the martial arts practice grounds. This time, he was in the martial arts practice field. The arrogant to the extreme, overbearing aura that came from Long Fei's body made everyone feel fear in their hearts. The originally arrogant Three Pillars S did not dare to make a single sound. When Nangong Lei saw his father die in Long Fei's hands, he did not dare to make the slightest sound. Because he was afraid, extremely afraid. Crushed the entire arena. He was a complete mess. Long Fei looked at his grandfather who was beside him, his heart becoming anxious. He could feel that his grandfather's aura was becoming weaker and weaker. If it were not for the fact that his grandfather needed treatment, Long Fei would not even bother to talk to them and would have directly killed him. And then, Long Fei said sinisterly, "Since no one dares to challenge me, then get the hell out of the Long family." Scram! His voice shook. All the disciples of the Long family shouted in unison, "Get out of the Long family!" Scram! Those people were like an amnesty. They scrambled and crawled their way out, wishing that they could grow another pair of legs. They were being crushed by the tyrannical aura on Long Fei's body. Suddenly, Long Fei's gaze fell on Nangong Yan's body, and his voice turned cold as he said, "Nangong Yan." Nangong Yan's body trembled and stopped on the spot. It was very hard, just as if the scythe of the god of death was placed on her neck. It instantly stopped, tightly clenched its fists, and her entire body was trembling nonstop. The scene of the death of grandfather Nangong Lai continuously flashed through her mind. Long Fei continued, "You're my woman. Even if I don't want you, you're still my woman. You want to end the engagement, right? You can forget about it for the rest of your life. 3 years later, I will let you become Long Fei's plaything. I can play with you however I want, understand? Killing such a woman would only be letting her off easily. Long Fei would not kill her. He wanted Nangong Yan to live in a nightmare. He would live in a nightmare for the rest of his life." Nangong Yan's face was pale white, her lips were purple, and her body was shaking nonstop. She could not control it at all, and she could not say a single word. Finally, it was Nangong Lei who supported her and barely managed to walk out of the training grounds. "Long Fei, I want to kill you. I want to kill you. I want to kill you." He was just like a shrew. This was the effect that Long Fei wanted. Killing was easy. Nangong Yin liked to scheme and scheme. This kind of person was too easy to kill with one slash. Moreover, what a pity to kill such a beautiful woman. After a few minutes, only the Long family members were left in the training field. Everyone looked at Long Fei, all of them extremely excited. Young master is mighty. The young lord is mighty. The young lord is mighty. Long Fei heaved a heavy sigh and said, the Long family members just have a little bit of the Long family's power. Take back all the things that the Long family has lost. At this time, they had to counterattack. He had to let the people of Three Pillars know that the Long family was not so easily bullied. However, Long Fei was very worried in his heart. The people of the Three Pillars were only temporarily intimidated, and once they calmed down, a new round of competition would begin, and it would be even more intense than today. He alone was far from enough. His cultivation was only at the 9th level of the war spirit. He didn't even have a war chief realm. The Long family now had to stand firmly. There was only one way. Someone broke through to the War Master Ream. A real War Master Ream. Jojo said anxiously, young master, Grandpa Long is about to die. Long Fei's face sank and immediately said, prepare the bath barrel, hurry. Ice and fire. The ice fire dragon immediately said, master, I'm ready. After releasing the combined attack, he was almost at his limits, but he knew what his master was worried about, so he painfully persevered. Half an hour later, Long Sanfeng's courtyard. A gash appeared on the body of the fire and ice as the dragon blood dripped down, forming an entire vat. Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, Bing Hua directly said, master, don't say anything. Saving someone is more important. Finished. Bing Hua continued, I need to rest. They swiftly returned to Long Fei's mount space. Long Fei didn't act hypocritically as he placed his grandfather's entire body into the bath barrel and poured the dragon's blood into it. During this period of time, Long Fei took out a few high-grade fire attribute spirit herbs that he had harvested from the Great Desolate Mountain Range and placed them into the dragon's blood. After doing everything, Long Fei left the room. He had already done everything he could do, and now it all depended on his grandfather. Long Fei closed the door, looked at the weak Uncle Long Zhanhai, and said, Uncle, grandfather will definitely be fine. Quickly go rest. Long Zhanhai looked at Long Fei with a heavy gaze. His heart was filled with gratitude as he patted Long Fei's shoulders and said, Xiao Fei, good job. Finished. Long Zhanhai turned and slowly left. He needed time to rest and was severely injured. If not for Luluashi's pill, he would have died. Long Fei looked at his eldest uncle's aged back, and his heart once again hurt. Although he did not see Long Zhanhai endure countless of Nangong Lai's attacks, Long Fei could clearly feel the wounds on his body. Uncle, when the injury of ice and fire is slightly better, I will give you the dragon blood. Every disciple of the Long family has it. Long Fei clenched his fists. That was what he thought when he wanted to catch fire and ice alive. Not to mention, the fire and ice were enormous, so a little dragon blood wouldn't harm him at all. Young master, how is Grandpa? When Long Fei walked out of the courtyard gate, he rushed towards the 3 sisters of the Sky Sect. Long Fei said, Grandfather will be fine. And then, Long Fei looked at Lu Luoshi and said, Thank you. Thank you for coming to help the Long family. I, Long Fei, will remember your kindness. Xiao Tian laughed heartily. Haha, that's right. Did those words you said in martial arts arena come from the bottom of your heart? Huh, what do you mean? Long Fei was not clear about this, but he had said too much. Yi Zian naturally understood the meaning behind Xiao Tiantian's words and curiously looked at Long Fei. It's exactly that sentence. Lu Luoshi glared at them and said, You're not serious. Xiao Tiantian stuck out her tongue. Lu Luoshi said, Long Fei, 3 Pillars will definitely not let this go easily. You must be careful, and also, I'm afraid we won't be able to come back to the Long family. They had escaped, so they would definitely be punished when they returned. Especially Baidu's search. Half afloat Long Fei had made it difficult for Dongfang Jian. so he would definitely vent his anger on them. Lu Luoxi did not plan to tell Long Fei about this either, as he did not want him to worry about him. Lu Luoxi continued to speak. We are going in a closed-door cultivation. Banquet of Forbidden Peak still has half a month's time. You should prepare yourself. Every year, Banquet of Forbidden Peak will receive a special reward, and this year, the reward will be one of the outer sect disciples. There is no need to take the examination. Ding! Suddenly, a system announcement sounded. Advertisement 8_8419/2356487. Ding! Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest. Mission: Banquet of Forbidden Peak Task Level. A task goal. Qualifying task reward. 300,000 experience, 10,000 true breath, 2,000 points. Hint: if you receive an S-rank reward, you will receive a special reward as a clue for the Dragon Salyer quest. It was a quest. A level mission wasn't even a high-level mission. Long Fei didn't really think much of it at the beginning, but the last sentence made him feel extremely bad. A special reward for obtaining clues from the Dragon Salyer quest? Long Fei was stunned. When he had obtained the Dragon Salyer, he had touched the mission to look for it. The time of the mission was only 1 year, and now there were less than 2 months left. Even though Long Fei knew that the remaining half of the blade was in the Nangong family, but where? He didn't know what to do. If he could complete this quest, Long Fei moved his body and immediately said, "Accept." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for accepting this quest. It's an S grade, right? Long Fei's heart secretly tensed up. He had to succeed, because the Dragon Salyer S mission only had less than 2 months left. If he did not complete it soon, he would not be able to get the other half of the Dragon Salyer. The Dragon Salyer was a family heirloom of the Long family, and it was even the belief of the Long family's disciples. No matter what price he had to pay, Long Fei had to find it. Xiao Tianyang laughed. Long Fei bastard, you will not participate, right? We'll all be going. Long Fei regained his senses and laughed. Go. All of you go. I will go as well. Hee hee. It's a deal. Xiao Tianyang laughed and said, You must also get first place. That way you will be qualified to enter the Heaven Sect, and will be able to enter the Heaven Sect together with us. Yi Zian also followed and said, We must snatch it, or else we will be let down. Do you hear me? Lu Luoxi glared at them again, then said to Long Fei, We'll be leaving first. After they left, Jojo said somewhat enviously, Young master, they treated you so well. Did you not see? Your 3 sisters tried their best to stop Nangong Lai. If not for them, I'm afraid Grandpa Long wouldn't have waited for you to come back. Moreover, they were all injured by some cheap brother that Nangong Yin brought over. Looking at the 3 sisters of the Heaven Sect, her heart was filled with envy. What she envied was not their relationship with Long Fei, but the fact that they could help Long Fei and there was nothing she could do. During this time, she had been trying out the cultivation method that Long Fei taught her, but she couldn't. It was useless. No matter how hard he tried, he could not feel the spiritual energy flowing between heaven and earth, let alone absorbing it into the pubes and turning it into true breath. She felt very stupid, very stupid. Long Fei's heart slightly shook, and thought to himself, Dongfang Jian, right? My lowly brother, right? Let's see how cheap you can be. And then, Long Fei looked at Jojo, who was staring at her with envious eyes, and lightly scratched her nose. Girl, are you jealous? Jojo pouted her lips and said, No problem. Jojo will not be jealous of young master. Jojo would rather all the women be young masters, but Jojo's voice weakened slightly as she said, Jojo doesn't like Nangong Yin, I really don't. Ha! I will return what she has done to the Long family back to her multiple times more, and her sore spot will be the engagement with me. The more she wants to break off the engagement, the more I won't let her do as she pleases, and then she will become even more angry and manic. Long Fei said with a smile. Jojo was startled, looked at Long Fei, and said, Young master. So it turns out that you're this bad. But Jojo likes your bad side. A woman like Nangong, Yin should do this to her. He laughed slyly. Very cute, very naive. Long Fei directly took a step forward, looked at Jojo, and said, "You like me being bad, then why don't I treat you worse too?" Ah! Jojo's face flushed red. She stood there with her head lowered like a pillar, not moving at all, waiting for Long Fei. When Long Fei saw her acting like this, his heart ached. He took a step forward and hugged her tightly as he muttered, "Foolish, in my heart, you will always be the most important. No matter what happened, Jojo would always be the woman Long Fei was most concerned about. Because she was a very, very foolish person, foolish enough to use her own body to exchange for someone to protect him, and also the first person to treat Long Fei well since he came to this world. Long Fei will cherish it with all his might." Jojo was moved to tears. She bit her lips and strove to keep herself from crying out. A few minutes later, Jojo struggled free, wiping away the tears on his face, and said, "Young master, you must be hungry. I will prepare something for you to eat." With that, he ran off happily. It was also at this time that Long Fei said softly, "Come out." As the silhouette appeared, her face was still covered by the black gauze. With her exceptional appearance, only a pair of eyes could be seen. It was truly a waste. Long Fei slightly said, "This time you did very well. This is your reward. You are still too weak right now, and you need to become stronger. Otherwise, you won't even have the qualifications to follow me." Finished. Long Fei gave the image of the divine tiger's body. He had made up his mind on the way here. The shadow did not make a mistake. Jojo protected him very well. This was the reward she deserved. Furthermore, the shadow needed to become stronger. Otherwise, how could it still be a shadow? Shadow's eyes flickered, and her heart was moved. The instant she received the godly tiger's body, her heart was about to melt. In this world, other than her family who treated her well, there was no one else who treated her well like this. Even though Long Fei's words were ice cold, but to her, it was incomparably warm. After receiving the godly tiger body, the shadow once again disappeared into the darkness. At this moment, roar, an angry howl of an ash wolf resounded. Next, rumble, rumble, rumble. A violent explosion came from Long Sanfeng's room. The sound resonated through the 9 heavens, and the entire Fireglass City was trembling. Long Fei frowned. "Not good." Immediately, Long Fei shouted, "Without my order, no one is allowed to enter this courtyard." After which, he rushed into the courtyard and thought to himself, "Grandfather, grandfather, grandfather. Don't let anything happen to him." At this moment, Long Sanfeng's room had already exploded. The windows, doors, it was exploding all over the courtyard. Long Fei was even more worried now. At this moment, Baidu's search. Half afloat, Long Fei was shocked. He sensed an extremely strong qi, dragon's qi. The moment he rushed into the room, Long Fei was completely stunned. Long Sanfeng's body was densely covered with dragon scales. Dragon blood rebirth, dragon transformation. Chapter 13. Thank you, brother Qingsheng and Xian, for your support. Thank you, brother Hai Shui. Thank you. 8_8419/2356488. The densely packed dragon scales covered Long Sanfeng's entire body. The densely packed dragon scales covered Long Sanfeng's entire body. Not a single drop of dragon blood remained in the bath barrel. All of them were absorbed by Long Sanfeng, and, other than the dragon scale, he still had the appearance of a human, as if he had been aged several tens of years. "Grandfather," Long Fei shouted. Long Sanfeng opened his eyes and looked at Long Fei. In that instant, all the dragon scales on his body were completely hidden. I broke through." At this moment, Long Sanfeng was incomparably excited as he looked at Long Fei. He had broken through. To the people of the Long family, breaking through the War Master Ream had a different meaning compared to other warriors. Because once a member of the Long family breaks through the War Master Ream, dragon scales would appear on their body. The higher their cultivation, the denser the dragon scales would be. This was the secret of the Long family for tens of thousands of years. Within the same cultivation level, he was invincible. To the people of the Long family, breaking through the War Master Ream was the most difficult task, 10 times more difficult than ordinary warriors. Under the stimulation of the dragon blood and the high-grade fire attribute spirit herbs that Long Fei had placed, Long Sanfeng's body underwent a tremendous change and even broke through his shackles in that instant. Break through the War Master Ream. Different from the other strong War Master S in the Long family. Long Sanfeng had made a breakthrough after absorbing the dragon blood, so the energy contained in his body would be even stronger. Furthermore, he could directly cover his entire body with the dragon scales. Long Sanfeng would become even more unscrupulous. The ancestors of the Long family had slain a divine dragon, drank dragon blood, and could even transform into a dragon and break the void. This was the secret of the Long family. Feeling the thick energy from his grandfather's body, Long Fei was incredibly happy. Now, he no longer had to worry about anything. There was no need to worry at all. Ha! Ha! The old and young duo raised their heads to the sky and laughed out loud. The time had come for the Long family to rise again. In another place, Nangong Imperial Clan. What is that sound? Reporting to your highness, it's a voice from the sky above the Long family, accompanied by a dragon cry. A guard quickly reported. Nangong Lei's forehead turned sinister as he slammed his palm on the red wooden table. The mahogany table crumbled to dust. Anger. He was incomparably furious. Watching his father die in front of him, that kind of pain, that kind of anger, made him fall into madness. But he actually didn't dare to resist. At that moment, how much did he hate himself? Now, Long Fei returned, bringing back a huge dragon. The Long family was no longer the same Long family. In the main hall, Zhuge Tianlong slightly said, "Your Highness, don't be angry. Wasn't it just a huge dragon?" Li Chongtian also said, "We were all stunned by Long Fei and the huge dragon. If we had attacked together, there would have been no Long family in Fireglass City." Now that they had calmed down and thought about it, they had indeed been scared silly. Who wouldn't be scared silly when they saw Nangong Lai instantly killing the War Master Ream, the arrogant aura on Long Fei's body, and that huge dragon? Even their fathers, Zhuge Yuan and Li Tianyang, were scared silly. However, it's too late to say that now. The situation had already changed. Just then, the black-robed elder from the Sky Sect said softly, "Long Fei is only at the 9th level of the War Spirit. This level of cultivation is not enough to kill Nangong Lai. It's that huge dragon. Actually, he is not really a dragon, but a lizard dragon that can fly. In a dragon race, it is the lowest level, and I have sensed its strength is not an adult dragon. If it is a War Master Ream ranker, even if we cannot kill it, we can at least stall it." At that time, the black-robed elder was also stunned. Dragons, to everyone in the Sky Martial Continent, were extremely powerful existences. Only then would they be scared. The black-robed old man continued, "Right now, the Long family is just an illusion. In fact, there's nothing left of the Long family." Nangong Lei's anger soared, but facing the black-robed old man, he still lowered his voice and respectfully asked, "Teacher, what do you think?" He could only rely on the Heaven Sect now. This was his last resort. Zhuge Tianlong had still come to the Duke Nangong Palace because of the Heaven Sect. Otherwise, once Nangong Lai died, they did not even need to care about the palace in any way. The black-robed elder stroked his beard and spoke slowly. "The strongest in the Long family is not Long Fei, nor is it that dragon, nor is it the sickly Long Sanfeng. It is the Long family's army. Once the Long family army is annihilated, the Long family will have nothing left." He flipped through the Long family's documents. The Long family army was truly a terrifying existence, especially that terrifying dragon-locked tactical method, which so far no one had been able to break through. Zhuge Tianlong and Li Chongtian looked at Nangong Lai at the same time. Nangong Lai squinted and said, "In a few days, there will be news coming in the next few days." What happened in Wulong Valley? The letter sent out by Long Shan, the letter sent by the Nangong army to the Fireglass City had not reached the Fireglass City yet. No matter how fast they were, they wouldn't be as desperate as Long Fei. Long Fei's leg almost broke from running. Zhuge Tianlong laughed and said, "Clan Elder, then what do we need to do now?" The black-robed elder laughed coldly. Long Fei has returned with a huge dragon. We are worried about him. The Nangong Imperial clan is even more worried. Since the establishment of the Long family, it has been the greatest danger for the Nangong Imperial clan. All you have to do is to do your best to impeach the Long family in the Imperial court. Regardless of whether it works or not, the royal family will definitely stand on your side. Other than these, we'll have to wait. The old man in black slowly said, "We are just waiting for the Nangong Imperial clan situation." Nangong lay clenched both his fists tightly and thought, "Just you wait, Long Fei. I will definitely tear you into 10,000 pieces. Fireglass City, branch of the Heaven sect." Dongfang Jian was raging. Just a moment ago, when he returned from the Duke Palace, he was looked down by Nangong Yin to the point that he couldn't even lift his head up. He was very angry. In front of his beloved, he was stomped into that state by Long Fei. The killing intent in his heart soared to the heavens. He was very Long Fei, and he hated him to the extreme, but right now, he did not dare look for Long Fei because of the huge dragon. However, he had his ways to deal with Long Fei. They were Lu Luoxi and the other two. Xiao Changfeng stood behind Dongfang Jian and said in a low voice, "Young master, don't be angry." He was Dongfang Xiong's disciple. Dongfang Xiong was Dongfang Jian's father and vice sect master of the Heaven sect. Humph! Dongfang Jian coldly snorted, stared at Lu Luoxi and the other two, and said, "You truly have the guts to intervene in local affairs. Xiao Changfeng, according to the sect's rules, how are you going to punish me?" Xiao Changfeng immediately said, 50 lashes. "All right. The three of you are inner court disciples. You know the law and have committed crimes that increase by 1 grade. Each of you will be sentenced to 100 lashes." Dongfang Jian's eyes became bloodshot, and he shouted immediately. Xiao Tiantian was not convinced. He said, "Dongfang Jian, didn't you also interfere in the matters of the Duke Nangong Palace and colluded with that slut Nangong Yin? You didn't violate the clan rules, did you?" Yi Zian also said, "Are you from the law enforcement hall? What qualifications do you have to punish us?" Dongfang Jian sneered and said, "I didn't do that, right? Elder Xiao does. He is the person in charge here, and his words are in order." "Elder Xiao, should they be punished?" Xiao Changfeng immediately said, "Yes, http:// Dongfang Jian asked again, "Have I violated the sect rules?" Xiao Changfeng continued, "No." Dongfang Jian laughed out loud and said, 3 or 4 pills. You all heard it, right? Elder Xiao, hurry up and use your punishment. Do you need me to teach you? Chapter 14. Qingsheng and Xian reward and support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much that you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.